we are recording. Let me get to the table. Hello, my friends. Welcome. Welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for this, the 22nd episode of Along the Frontier, entitled Inception. I am the game mother, or the game master, the storyteller, the narrator, the referee, whatever word you want to use that would fit best in your sensibilities of things. With me, of course, are my amazing players. Ro, first. With me, of course, are my wonderful players, Rodance, Luke, and Kane. Unfortunately, Luke, his camera is, shall we say, kaput for the time being. But we all know what he looks like, and we'll just pretend that his smiling face is right there as we go through the amount of sheer horror that I can sometimes throw at these characters. Let's take a quick moment to check in with our players. And while we're doing that, I will just be over here, leading my small face hugger groups through the Folda Gap. Extra points if you know what that means. Rodance, what's new and exciting with you?
Well, not an awful lot.
Okay.
I mean, I've had today off of work, and I've done some laundry, I've done some dishes, and I've reorganized some of my stuff.
Sounds like you had a fairly productive day for not having to go anywhere, do anything.
It was great.
Isn't your day off just amazing?
Yeah, I had 80 hours of holiday hours to burn, so I just took random arbitrary Tuesdays off.
Oh, amazing. So, side note, totally interrupting because I just saw this as I was setting it up on my phone. Apparently, there are Apple TV Plus Twitch drops for purchasing or gifting subscriptions to my channel while we're in the tabletop RPGs category. So, if you have money and you feel like giving me some of it, you can get something out of it from, I'm guessing because of this logo, Apple TV Plus. I don't know how this works. I don't really pay too much attention to all that. I just come out here and play games and video games with friends and show it to the rest of the world. Sorry, back to you, Ro.
Yep. But,
Yep.
Totally useless plug there.
I think that probably is part of the reason why they're there, you know?
I have watched a couple of shows on Apple TV Plus, to be totally honest, and I have enjoyed them. For All Mankind, Foundation, and I want to say there's a third one, and I can't think of it now, which means it probably wasn't that great, but I'm also probably just getting confused as to what service it's actually on. For All Mankind, of course, is an alternate history of the space race.
Apple devices don't exist in my house.
You're one of those.
I don't mind Apple. I'm not willing to pay them the extra $300 to put an Apple logo on my device.
That's like saying I have friends that use Apple devices.
She has friends. One of those people. I am one of those people. I hate Apple.
I'm just waiting for Rodance to be like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't hate Apple. I have friends that use Apple devices.
No. Like, when we had to buy my grandparents a computer before they died, we bought them an Apple because they were less likely to break it.
That's fair.
Like, there's a time and a place for the locked-in ecosystem. I don't need it, and I ain't paying for it.
No, I hear you. And frankly, the only Apple products I actually use are my iPhone and the Apple Plus TV show.
I have a smart TV sitting on the wall right now. I don't let it have Wi-Fi access because it pisses me off that they put ads in the smart TV menu.
Ew.
And as long as I don't connect it to the Wi-Fi, they're just static ads that don't change.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, we've definitely thrown out some controversial statements, so let's move on.
Don't forget, we need to put a content warning now at the beginning before we actually play.
I put it in the last episode in the description. We probably need to actually start saying it live, though, but...
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we'll figure that out shortly. Luke, what's new and exciting for you, besides your, let's just say, technical difficulties of late? God, well, that almost sounded suggestive. I apologize now.
Jeez. Well, after the technician said that I shouldn't use a drill and hammer to put a CPU back into a motherboard, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, but, you know, he's the expert, right?
Yeah, one would imagine.
It cost me a whole lot of money, but I have my computer back. So, I mean, that was a whole week of sitting on my phone or doing something else in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I told these guys earlier, I'll say it for the broadcast audience. If I didn't have my computer, I don't know what I would do. Most of my entertainment comes through the internet in one fashion or another. If I didn't have my computer to play video games, most of the time online, and 99% of the time, and the only way to play video games is through an online account of some sort.
Yeah. I got really acquainted with Albion Online. I mean, that was
Wow. I know the name. I can't think of anything in particular, but I've seen and or heard the name a lot over the
It's not
years.
great.
Yeah.
It's not great. We're not endorsing Albion online here.
Well, listen, I will take a sponsor if they'll show up, but they're not going to show up for a while.
I mean,
listen, I can corporate
like,
sell out my ass just like anybody else.
I've streamed like once in the last month, and I've got a sponsorship for like Call of Dragons or something on waiting around on my Streamlabs.
What?
I mean, it's stupid.
We're gonna have to talk after this or something, or maybe like later this week about how you got a sponsorship, and I've been doing this shit for a few years now and got jack or shit.
Oh no, it's stupid. I have to like make 800 players like join the game and get to level 12 before I get to like $5.
Oh yeah, well, never mind. It's
no.
That seems like an extremely large amount of work for nothing.
Oh yeah, it's 100% nothing. And sorry, Call of Dragon or whatever game.
Call of Cthulhu Dragon calling phone center thingy.
Call Center Warrior.
Call Center Warrior.
Now somebody needs to make a game that is just like a customer.
Yeah, and you're and you're not even customer service. No, you are a scam artist working in a call center somewhere in the world trying to
Have
convince.
you guys ever seen the game called Papers, Please?
Yes,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard of it. I've
Yeah.
definitely heard of it. I think you and I maybe even talked about it once. It sounds like one of those like $5 games that you can find on Steam.
I've
Pretty much.
actually
It's a
I've
really
actually
good
played
indie
a
game.
I've actually played a game called Cubicle Quest.
Oh wow, that sounds
And
even better.
it's Dungeons and Dragons. What?
Stanley Parable.
Ah, yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Cubicle Quest is was a like RPG Maker something copy pasted something. But they basically made it into like a D&D but for like everyday office stuff. So like you had to like roll diplomacy and wits and strength checks against like the printer and stuff, and it was just like such a ridiculous game.
Roll a strength check to keep your paperwork from shredding inside the printer.
Yeah, like stupid things like that. And
Roll
and then your
dexterity
boss
to
would be-
swap out the ink before it gets too hot. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just thinking of all the dumb shit I can make a character or excuse me, make a player roll for in an office setting.
Oh yeah, and they go off the rails on that one, so it was pretty good. I actually liked it. It was like the best $5 I spent on an RPG Maker game.
Quick, roll charisma to get out of this conversation you don't want to be in at the water cooler.
So, Omar,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the actual rules for what is basically the worst RPG in existence? Like a tabletop RPG?
No.
You've read
It's called
my rulebook?
Fatal. From another time, another land.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
I'm acquainted with this game.
I will. There are two things we okay, I'll share you two facts about the game. You have to roll for anal circumference.
Oh my god. Okay.
Two.
Go ahead.
All right, I was gonna get some.
You
coffee,
can
but
die
apparently
in
I
most
have to-
insane, ridiculous ways, but you have to do the math first.
Oh, so you still have to math it?
I'm
Okay.
just gonna leave it there because it gets bad.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so some of the calculations that end up being, there's a point at which you're like, we know where this is going. I really don't want to talk anymore about how I didn't roll well enough on circumference to survive. Like, do I really need to math all this out, guys?
Circumference.
But the answer turns out to be yes, actually you do need to finish the math. According to the rules. Is that what I'm hearing?
And you're dead anyways.
Yeah, so even if you do the math right, there's no incentive. It's just you have to do it.
It's just for people who like to make other people do math.
Yeah.
What kind of
Or
sixth sense
torture
of,
people.
For no fucking
Listen, I
reason.
think I'd rather be tortured than being forced to do math.
It's like BDSM, bondage.
Yeah, really.
sadistic
What's a safe word to
math.
stop having to do math?
Yeah. You didn't let me finish my joke, but it's okay.
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm horrible. Listen, you guys know I've been working really hard on not interrupting, and I've been failing frequently. So I apologize. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Go ahead, Luke.
No, it was basically just the BDSM, but except the last word was math.
Oh,
You
that
gonna go
is
to your
amazing.
midnight algebra club?
Your midnight algebra club? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Leather and lace and math. Oh my god, I am so easily amused. Please, Cade, give us the subject change. Tell us what's new and exciting in your life, and please tell me it has nothing to do with BDSM and or math.
I have done neither of those things, and since the last time we played.
Thank you, Jesus. Please continue.
I don't know if I really. I've tried out the PvE mode for Escape from Tarkov.
Oh.
Is that a new mode or what have you?
There's a whole drama around getting access to it that is well and amusingly documented.
Okay.
But it's basically new. A lot of people are complaining that they can't keep up with the sweaties or the professionals,
Right.
Yeah.
and it kind of takes the fun out of the game if you're
It
basically
certainly
not allowed
did
to play.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so they added the PvE mode with the idea being that you don't fight sweaties, you just fight bots.
Right.
And they replaced the enemy PMCs with PMC bots who have like up-tuned AI, so they're harder to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And they show up with PMC appropriate gear. Not any of the super sweaty, ridiculous shit, but much better than what the scavs have.
Right.
I went from when I was doing the regular Tarkov, I think I survived about a quarter of the raids I went in.
Okay. Not bad.
Right now in the PvE mode, I'm surviving just over 90% of my raids.
That's really good, but also sounds like maybe too good.
I mean, I spent all that time getting beat up by sweaties that I transitioned over, and I'm so shocked from it that I treat it real fucking hard. So
I guess the big question really then is, well, I have two, but the one is more informational. The one is like, so the challenge playing against players versus the challenge against AI, how does it compare? Obviously, in my head, I'm thinking playing against players, especially in a game like Tarkov, is definitely going to be infinitely harder than going against the bots.
Okay, so against the AI, if I die in PvE, I feel like what I think I was supposed to feel like in regular Tarkov, where it's like, oh, I died this time, this I should have zigged instead of zagged.
Right.
I didn't pack my mag, so I ran out of ammo. Like
you get analytical with it.
Figure out what I did wrong, or appreciate that the other guy was better.
Right.
Because some people are just gloriously good at games. My experience with the regular Tarkov was about every other match, somebody was cheating.
Yes.
So that's not fun. That's not engaging. No. That's not a challenge. That's just you auto lose because somebody wanted to give somebody $8 a day to cheat.
Yes.
That doesn't exist in the PvE. You don't get the excitement of beating other players, and having that contest of wills, which is a bit of a bummer. And I don't think I'm going to play it for too long. I'm going to finish the hideout and then probably be done when I finish all the quests. There'll be literally nothing left to do.
Okay.
So, doing a PvE means there's no end game. Like, you finish stuff and then there's no forever cycle.
Yeah. So if you get gear in the PvE, can you take it into the not PvE? There's a barrier?
No. Yep, in the main menu, you hit a button to decide which menu you're in.
Okay.
And they're completely isolated in every way.
Okay.
So people can't just farm the PvE for a bunch of shit to bring into PvP and slap people around with it.
Right. Which my thought would be like, the gear you take from PvE into the live, for lack of a better thing to call it, the gear wouldn't necessarily be that great, but it's better than what you would initially start out with. But also, yes, either way, you'd still have an advantage over a new starting player that you probably would have had anyway. But yeah, that could still be quite problematic. It would definitely, at the very least, it'd be something very difficult to balance correctly.
Wasn't the big controversy with that game was how expensive they were charging it initially?
Yeah. So the hubbub about PvP was they're like, hey, did you spend like $200 and something on this game? You get access to this game mode that we told you were going to get everything. But except for this, you get to have it for 30 days, unless you buy like a $300 package on top of what you already bought.
Fuck all that.
Yeah, people got mad, and they're like, okay, well, the people who already spent 200 something bucks, you can have it. Please stop. Don't boycott the game. We'll die. Like,
I want to say I dropped like $40 maybe. I don't recall paying for a full AAA price, but I definitely paid, somewhere between half. So, 40 to 60, 70, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it had a halfway decent starting, like, I think a 4-slot backpack or some bullshit like that.
oh, here's the other thing that's going to make it so the PvE is kind of short-lived. Every time they do a major patch, they reset all the PvP accounts. And it's a pretty regular thing. It's all baked into the cycle to keep people playing. PvE, they've announced they are not going to reset.
Well, that's definitely going to kill it, because after a while, it's just only the new players to the community will, like, new to the community, I mean, will want to check it out.
So they'll learn the game in PvE, and then in order to continue to play it, they'll have to swap to PvP and go to where they want them to be anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in some ways that is not a bad idea, because it kind of gives you, like, a tutorial stage. But also, yeah, I can see how that'd be annoying.
It doesn't prepare you for dealing with players.
No, it doesn't. But also, players are very, very... There's not enough breath in me to throw out enough berries to adequately cover how toxic some other players can be.
Yeah, I also giggled when I realized somebody made a mod to make single player mode.
That's not surprising.
You just had to have like legit copy of the base game or whatever it is, and then you just download the mod, tweak some things, run it from the mod launcher, and bam, you suddenly have single player Tarkov.
Yeah.
That made me laugh when I realized that was the thing too. Like,
I suppose that wouldn't be terrible. I'm not necessarily condoning it, but I suppose that wouldn't be terrible for learning the maps.
I mean, they always had a practice mode that you couldn't lose anything and you didn't earn anything.
That is true. I remember that. That is true.
And they made it so that you could turn off the AI and everything, so you can literally just sandbox run around.
Yeah.
And learn where everything is. But
yep.
I don't know. There's lots of things to be said about Battle State in Tarkov, but I have been enjoying that I actually get to do the missions. And then once I'm done with the missions, I'll probably be done with Tarkov again.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get this show on the road. Previously, on Along the Frontier, the team has returned to Tithonus and have completed their second of 3 days of rest and relaxation before returning to the fray that is quickly shaping up to be a nasty bit of business. Having received battlefield promotions, the team now makes their way down to the planet. Actually, they're on their way getting ready to leave the planet. Clearly, I did not update this as much as I thought I had. At any rate, the team is now ready, waiting. Oh, excuse me. The team is now ready and waiting on the tarmac for their return to the Tam when they are approached by what appears to be a civilian. And when I say approach, it's more like he's been there waiting as well. Where is... Oh, there we go. So, in short, you guys got to the tarmac on our last episode near the end, and you guys decided... You had something of a conversation amongst yourselves or what have you. I don't remember exactly now. But it is now, as it looks like the ship is starting its descent from the high heavens. It's a few minutes before it touches down. There is another gentleman on the tarmac wearing what appears to be civilian clothes and sporting a badge that maybe gives him some access, but it's really hard to see because it's not very well lit here. And he also has a hand holding a hat over his head against the local weather that also manages to conceal a considerable portion of his face.
There isn't local weather in Tithonus.
Sure there is. There's got to be at least wind. You're breathing out in the open air.
It has no biosphere, so it might have a bit of air current, but there's not a whole lot of storm action going on. I mean, there might be some sun.
I feel like weather and bio isn't always interlaced. Am I crazy?
A lot of weather is water based
But there'd still be
and
like,
pressure and temperature differentials.
I mean, I'm clearly I am not a meteorologist because otherwise I'd be giving weather reports more often than I have. I feel like even on a planet with no life and no water, typically there would still be variations in temperature to cause wind to every
You
now and
have
again.
the equivalent of dust storms, I think.
Yeah, I could be wrong too. I don't. I mean, listen. Let's be honest. It's not often I know what the hell I'm talking about on any topic. At any rate, this guy is standing there, and maybe it's a bit of dust's getting ready kicked up, or maybe somewhere nearby another ship was lifting off. I don't know. He has a hat, picture like a fedora or something, and he's kind of like got it covered, kind of like this, and the brim is obstructing some of his face. His badge doesn't appear to have a whole lot of writing, if any, on it. Just a barcode and a picture of his face. And he's wearing civilian clothes. An oddity, considering this is a military facility.
Has Pike seen anything like this before in the Black Ops he's done before?
You've probably seen something of a. I mean, even with the ops that you guys have been doing lately, you've had civilian consultants and others involved or indirectly involved or somewhere hanging in the background. So knowing or seeing that there are civilians around is not uncommon.
Well, I was just thinking, like, with his unusual badge.
That probably not. Not in this particular context.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
It looks different than, like, the IDs and stuff that the contractors that end up on the Tambatam produce.
Yeah, because usually they would have, like, what you and I would recognize as a DA civilian ID badge with name and probably some, like, a GS code or something like that. Obviously. And in this case, it's literally just a flat white card with his face and what appears to be a barcode of some sort.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to put the ice cream back in the freezer.
Well, of course, we don't want it to melt. If you're not going to eat it all at
Wait,
once.
I already accidentally dropped it on the floor.
There is that to consider as well. He does. I imagine based on these questions that you guys are kind of eyeballing him, maybe side glancing him.
I'm pretty sure Winston and Wescott are not because
Well, Wescott is probably still quite drunk and also not very cheerful or chirpy.
seeing as
Probably not.
Winston literally dragged her to the landing pad.
Yeah. Yeah. And who is our fourth W? Watts? He's still up in the ship?
He's still on the ship.
recovering. So really, yeah,
I mean,
Pike, you're kind of
Pike-
spearheading this interaction if you want to have one.
I mean, Pike doesn't side eye. He's not the subtle type. He does the whole, like, lean over and look like he's trying to get a better view at the badge.
Yeah. Well, this guy is. Let me see. Do I have? You can see he's got fairly clean shaven face. Looks kind of maybe like bald or very short cut. Maybe he just still has the military haircut that he maybe once upon a time had, and he just kind of looks. When you lean, he does the mirror lean, goes in the same direction and looks at you, and he's got kind of a smirk on his face. And he says, "Yeah, I know you. You're Pike, right?"
Yeah. I don't know you.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. But I'm getting cocky, so let me not get ahead of myself. Let me review my notes before I figure out what I say next. He points up at the ship coming down. He says, "We've got a couple of minutes. If there's any questions about anything, this might not be a bad time to ask them."
I'm used to not knowing a lot of things, but I do know that everybody that belongs somewhere has proof they belong there. You got some orders or something?
He flashes his ID badge that very clearly has nothing but his face and a barcode on it.
You want to try something that I can read?
I think he chuckles a little bit. He's like, "Well, if you don't even recognize what this is, that means my clearance is far beyond yours. But let me keep it short and simple for you. Normally, people don't ask me what my clearance is. Normally, I'm the one that's wondering what your clearance is."
That's fine. I've known lots of people who've had way higher clearances than me. I've known a few John Smiths of varying types, but
Actually,
they've all been able to.
I
But
prefer
they've all
Steve
been
Smith,
able.
but I digress.
All right, Steve. But they've all been able to produce something, even if it's 90% bullshit, that says that they belong where they are.
Oh, I can assure you, probably up to the highest levels of command, that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. Word of
But I'm the one
advice.
who's going to be standing at the bottom of the ramp.
Oh, I'm not getting on that plane. I don't know. I don't know if he'd say plane. I think he'd say bird. I'm actually here to give you a little bit of advice.
Oh,
You can do with it as you will, of course, because that's how advice works. But
that's a very different kind of conversation. And he's Pike's super relaxed at that point. He's like, all right.
Yeah, I think he realized that you were either unintentionally or maybe subtly going kind of antagonistic. And he's like, "Listen, I'm not here to fuck with you, man. Well, maybe a little bit because that's part of my life, but
Sure. I mean, I'm not saying you're a spook, but I've met plenty who enjoy the fringe benefits of their job. I don't mind.
You remember a few months back that one ship in that jungle?
I've been on a few ships, maybe
Anything?
somewhere in some jungles.
Yeah, anything strike you weird about that one?
Plenty of weird assignments for sure.
Let's be a little bit more specific here.
Well, if you're cleared way higher than I am, then go ahead and drop what you feel comfortable talking about.
It was a Russian. I'm sorry, he wouldn't say Russian. It was a UPP ship. They sent you to go look for a UA ship. That sound about right?
That's incredibly specific and very familiar.
Yeah. You remember what was on that ship? What was being transported?
Yeah.
Do you remember what was really being transported?
I remember blowing myself up with a grenade over that.
I think he thinks for a moment, and you kind of see like the thinking lights, and then the light clicks. If that makes any damn sense whatsoever. And
He's like, what is
yes.
he talking? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's like, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do remember reading that in the report. And then he says, you remember the planet that had nuked itself? You had gone down to recover the hard drives. I don't know if it was out of character. I don't know if it was actually hard drives that you initially went down for, but I think it was.
We went down for
went there to get
scientific
the-
information and samples.
Yeah. You remember that mission? You remember what they were working on when you went there?
I mean, I remember what I understand.
What do you understand that they were working on?
I mean,
I did not mean for this guy to be quite so confrontationally and smartass, but here we are.
like, I know what I saw, and I know I don't understand what I saw. I'm not arrogant enough to think I know more than I do.
Why don't you tell me what you think you saw?
Mad science.
That's
Mad
certainly
fucking science.
I think he laughs at that one, and it's not quite, but almost a full belly laugh when he says that. Do you recall there were two different, let's call it, as he looks around briefly to check his surroundings, let's call it two different factions in play there? Think of a chessboard. And he's kind of watching you, and he's like, please, God, you cannot be this dumb. He doesn't say that, of course.
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
Wow, Luke.
This is Pike, not Kane we're talking about.
No, I know.
They're I mean, either you're talking about the two different interests that were at play there, or you were talking about the two different types of inhabitants that weren't inclined to speak.
You're still thinking that those are two different groups. Let's just say that on one side of the chessboard was one player with their pieces, and on one side of the chessboard was another player and their chess pieces. And you were caught right in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
You know what else was weird about that? The very same thing just happened again that you just came back from. A chess player sits down to have a match with another chess player. Turns out you guys were the closest thing they had to pawns. Somehow you managed to walk away on Pandora. Now I sound like Stephen Lang when I said that. In my head I did anyway. I don't know about you guys. On Pandora, where they eat your eyeballs for jujubes. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay focused. I don't know why I'm all over the fucking place right now.
I've done enough work that I don't get to know 90% of to know that I don't really get to know the objectives when I'm placed somewhere. I just know I'm expected to do my job.
I think he snaps his fingers a little bit and says, you know what, let me try a different tack. You do know what a pawn is, right?
I do.
There are different interests. And right now, that is your position on the board. You only get to move so many spaces, so much per turn. There's another group that would prefer to see you something more like a knight. But you have to see the board for yourself. And I can only do so much with sprinkling the breadcrumbs. And he makes a little hand gesture when he says sprinkling the breadcrumbs. Be careful who you work for. Be careful who you commit yourselves to. And when he says yourselves to, he makes a general gesture towards the four of you.
I'm gonna make a wild connection here and say that this is a conversation that you would not be having on the Tambatan with us.
Well, as
There's
I
a
mentioned,
reason we're talking here.
well, my office is right over there, and he points to a cluster of buildings that are easily a couple miles away.
Yeah.
And he says, well, my office is right over there. I got no need to go back up into space. Matter of fact, I think I'll go get me some coffee. You have a wonderful night. And unless you do anything to try to stop him, he just kind of about faces and not so, like, he's confident, but he casually walks away.
Yeah. Enjoy your coffee, Steve.
Actually, John, but whatever. That's probably some bullshit, too. I think he actually says that just to fuck with you. You can tell. I think when he says that, he's like, it's actually John. Or maybe I'm just fucking with you. I don't know. And he just keeps on walking. His little badge gets caught in the wind again.
You know that guy's parents named him Gaylord or something, right? He just sort of says absentmindedly to the rest of you.
If he ever comes back on screen, because he served a very specific purpose here, but if he ever comes back on screen, I'm just not going to name him. It's going to be the guy from the tarmac with his face and barcode badge.
The sad thing is, Gaylord is actually a listed baby name. Not a very popular one anymore.
Hey, there was a time when I had a book literally full of 10,000 names from all over the world. I'm sure as shit Gaylord is in there.
Sure, yeah. It's just Pike was thinking this guy must really enjoy being able to throw random names out because his name sucks.
He's still got the most boring, mundane names too. That's the funny part. Yeah, so ship comes down. It is not Friday the 14th, but another Cheyenne, and it runs you guys back up to your ship, the Tamatam.
Mm-hmm.
It is evening. Excuse me. It is evening by the time you get up there. It's probably like 8 going on 9. You still technically have about, we'll say, between 12 and 24 hours before the ship starts departing for its next objective, whatever that may be that you have not yet heard anything about. We have Wescott, who is still somewhere between drunk, hungover, chronically depressed for the day, and generally not feeling very
I have a feeling she is got thrown into the shower and is now back to cleaning rifles.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, we make it to the deck and Pike just looks over. Like he looks Wescott up and down, and then looks over at Winston and says, "Get that embarrassment of the barracks and cleaned up."
Ooh.
Got it, sir.
We'll pretend he didn't say sir.
Got it, ma'am.
Apparently, I'm not the only one feeling snarky tonight. Well played. It's because you can't see his face. That's why he's doing it. He's feeling a certain extra layer of anonymity. I can't believe I got that word out on the first try.
Yeah, well, you and the archipelago.
Shut the fuck up, Kane. Don't you bring that shit up.
You make it sound like a hotel name.
I do. I don't even mean to either. Did I tell you the story of Cacophony?
No.
Have I told you the story of hooked horrors?
I think you might have. But let me tell mine first because it's really short and sweet. So for years of my life, whenever I was, I used to read a lot. And so whenever the word cacophony would come up, I had never heard anybody speak this word out loud. So I always read it as cacophony because I didn't know. Well, one night in Iraq...
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, one night in Iraq, on patrol, and in my truck, the conversations that soldiers in a truck will have when they have nothing else to do but drive long distances or drive the same short distance many, many, many times in the same stretch of 4 hours, we have random-ass conversations. And at some point, somebody said something, you start laughing, and I said the comment, something along the lines of, wow, what a cacophony we're making right now. And they all, in the dark, because this is at night, I could just feel the weight of their eyes as they all stopped and looked over at my position of the vehicle and were like, what did you just say? I said, cacophony. And I looked at them like, I guess I'm not saying it right, am I? I've never used that word out loud before. I've only seen it in writing. And they're like, no, it's cacophony.
In that moment, they knew just how hooey you were.
Yeah, right? That is a true story. I may have stretched some things because I don't remember all the things, but effectively, that's how that went. I used the word cacophony, and they all were like, what? And I had to explain that I'd never heard it before, and that's how I always read it, so that's how it came out. And I'm like, no, it's cacophony. To this day, I have to kind of give myself a stutter step and remember how it's supposed to be said, because there were so many times I read that word beforehand. Rodance, you had I believe you said Hutor?
Hooktor.
Yeah.
I don't pronounce it right because I am dropping the H's and they run together with my accent.
Uh-huh.
But so whenever the monster would come up in my D&D games, they always just stare at me and make me say it several times before they break out laughing and go, "You mean hooked horror?"
Oh.
Because learning Spanish, I learned the bad habit of dropping H's and dropping pronouns before the first verb. So instead of I read, I'll just say read.
Yeah, because in Spanish,
like
it's exactly how you would say it. I read.
Yeah.
Or you just
And it's just something I had picked up because I was learning it all through grade school.
Yeah.
Those are the two bad habits I learned from Spanish in English.
Yeah.
But the dropping the H's is because H is almost always silent in Spanish.
Yep. All right. So we had our nice little linguistics lessons, if you will. Wescott go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say Wescott is being told to be removed because she's an embarrassment. Winston
he just openly says that in front of her Marines. Just
yeah. What's going on? I mean, the scene is like from this point, like you have. Hold on, let me see. You have the rest of that evening, and you have sometime the following day. For the moment, at the very least, the scene is yours. You may do whatever you wish to do. So, Kane, you're starting a kerfluffle by calling Wescott an embarrassment. Wescott is in no mood, physically or mentally, to defend herself, as she is being
Wescott probably
off.
will just like look roughly in his direction and then shuffle
Yeah.
back to the troop bay.
Yeah, exactly. But Pike, we'll start with you. What are you gonna do here?
I think
You got a gift for Eckhart, as I recall. I
did. I did.
have that click in my head, but I don't want to tell you what to do here. So
I do want to.
I think it was a
I
coffee
don't-
cup.
Yep. I don't want people to wander around the ship and get in trouble. So I'm also going to tell Warren to get dinner ready for us.
Okay.
So basically, getting everybody into the troop bay so they can all talk shit about whatever they want to, probably including Pike.
Not a bad plan.
And I do want to go find Lieutenant Eckhart.
Chicka wow wow. Sorry. She is in the what is this section of the ship called right here? Let me see. She is in the hangar deck, and she's probably somewhere over on like the standby pad. And she's got not the Cheyenne, the other one, the one that you guys have, the Mantis, I believe it's called.
The one that's called Saturday the 14th.
Yeah, the Saturday the 14th. I think she's over there. She's just doing some like, not necessarily pre-flight checks or anything, but like daily maintenance checks and maybe getting a few things stowed or, just checking it out, becoming intimately familiar with it because it's now her ship basically.
He'll walk up. Is he at an angle to be able to see her flight patch?
I guess, yeah. I don't know where a flight patch would be worn on the Marine
On
uniform.
the chest?
Sure, why not?
Is she still a lieutenant?
Oh yeah, she's still a lieutenant.
Okay. LT,
Staff sergeant.
how's the new bird look? Yeah, she got some time with it.
Sick as fuck. I don't know if she would actually use those words, but she's gonna intimate as much.
Yeah, it looks a cut above the Cheyenne. I don't know. I've never seen
It
one
can
of these
go
before.
faster than the speed of light. How's that for starters? We call that
In a
fast where I'm from.
In a ship that size, that's impressive.
Yes. It has
Have you got-
sleeper pods. It has actually
Oh.
like, I think I had a floor plan at one point. I think it has like 2 decks, but I might be getting my ships confused now that I think about it.
Have you gotten a chance to take it out?
Let's just say yes. In the last like 36 hours, she's done at least some sort of orbital maneuvering with it, and it handles like it's about as smooth as a baby's ass, shaved and oiled. And when she says it just presents, I'm sure, some sort of just really awkward sense of what the fuck did you just say? But it makes perfect sense between 2 Marines.
Yeah. Big Pike just nods. He seems real pleased as well. I suppose it'll make a
That's some
sweet
dumb
bride.
shit in my lifetime because I was in the army, and only because I was in the army was it okay.
Well, I suppose a slick ride like that's going to be real helpful in saving my life another dozen times or so.
Well, if you'd stop fucking up and making me have to save your life, that'd be really super helpful too. She throws a rag at you. She's like, "Here, wipe that shit down right there. It's got a little bit of like oil or something coming out of it. I need to see where it's coming from."
Of course, LT. I got to empty my hands first, though. And
You mean, and then she actually looks at you for the first time?
he holds up 2 things.
What you got there?
He holds up a 5th of Jim Beam, and he holds up a coffee mug. He
What the
says,
fuck is this?
One of these is paying you back for all the times you saved my life, and consider the other one a down payment.
For the next
Because you'll
several.
probably do it another couple times.
I forget. I know we talked about it. We may even mention it on stream. I don't remember. What does the coffee cup say as she takes it from your hand and reads it out loud? Because why wouldn't you?
It's got a graphic of a Cheyenne on it, and above it says, like in an arch over it, it says Friday the 13th. And then on the other side, it says, "Don't make me use my pilot voice."
This is amazing. You are such an ass kisser. And for the moment, I only mean that figuratively.
Yeah, he just nods. I do have some work.
No. Top it off. Let's go.
All right. He'll pour a couple fingers in her coffee cup.
Yeah, she's gonna knock it back, and then she's gonna point at that oily spot. She's like, now, really do need to see where that oil's coming from. So either work and talk, or shut up and work.
I'll work and talk. Whatever you say, LT.
Yeah, that's right. And she smacks you dead on the ass. That's right, little boy.
So yeah, he'll start doing. I don't know if you want me to roll like heavy machinery. Or
No,
something.
I'm just wanting to make it like, something close to an action, as opposed to just two people
it's just a
standing
puppet.
statically.
Yeah. So he's cleaning and tracing oil. I do have a work related topic too.
Oh, and what in the hell you got on your mind this time?
Has anybody approached you and talked to you with a distressing amount of insider information?
I mean, are you trying to invest in the stock exchange or something? What are you talking about, insider information?
Mission information, classified mission information.
You mean like somebody from another office? When she says office, she means like not exactly the military.
Yeah, think so.
What
At
in
least
the
that's how they presented.
What in the
They
fuck
could
are
have
you
been
getting?
full of
So
shit.
you're supposed to be on leave for fucking 48 hours, you Nimrod. What are you doing down there?
It was all the bad at the very end. I promise I didn't go looking for it.
Are you sure? You seem to find trouble no matter where you go. I'm so glad I'm not your mother. I'd have
I'm
gray
so
hair by
glad
now.
you're not my mother too.
I think as soon as you say that, she's like, shit, yeah, you have a point. Anyway, moving on.
But no, he apparently wanted to look out for us, and I asked him to give enough details to lend some credibility to his story, and he knew stuff. He knew stuff that most people aren't supposed to know. So
In
either
my
he's not supposed to
experience-
know it, or he's on the know.
In my experience, when you're approached by somebody like that, you at least consider what they say before you step off next.
I mean, I listened to what he had to say.
No. There's listening, and then there's considering. Listening is hearing and understanding and following up on what they've said. Considering means maybe taking their advice to heart.
I don't think he was trying to be. I think he was trying to be really clever, but nothing that he said to consider isn't anything I didn't already consider.
Well, what did he say?
Well, I think he was trying to get me to think about the 90 to 95% of things that we don't know on Black Ops, which is pretty normal, and it's all stuff we think about, even if we're not going to get the answers.
But it seemed like he was trying to point you in the right direction, yeah?
He was trying to get me to think about some specific parts of it, for sure.
What specific parts was that?
Why?
Because we're paid to do it, not ask why. But
Exactly, right? Like, it's fun to think about why and, conjecture, but, we're never going
Well, what
to
else
get
did
those
he say?
answers, and we're not entitled to them. Well, aside from his weird chess analogy, and I think he thought I was too stupid to know how to play chess.
now I'm actually curious. Do you know how to play chess?
Pike knows how to
Do you
play
know what
chess,
en-passant
but
means?
He does not know any of the fancy shit like en passant, but he knows the basic rules to chess.
I'm sorry,
and he
I only
thinks
threw
that's
that in
all
there
of them.
because we talked about it on our
I
other
know,
show.
I know. Pike probably also doesn't know what castling is, but he knows the basic rules to the game.
Yeah, like the pawn moves one square except for the first time,
Yeah,
and they attack
He think-
diagonally.
he thinks it's an advanced maneuver when you move two. When you first move your. Yeah. It's an advanced and aggressive technique, but yeah, I mean, he was talking about he wanted me to think about all the factions involved. He wanted me to think about the people who were sending us there and why, and whose interests were already there when we were smashing shit up and taking it.
Well, was he trying to get you to pick sides or something?
He told me to be real careful about picking sides.
Shit, I didn't realize I was going to hit it right on the head like that, but
I didn't realize I was taking sides as he just sort of looks down at his uniform. I'm on a side,
that makes me wonder if he knows something that we don't, which is obviously the answer is yes, but is there some
don't-
sort of internal play going, maybe?
Maybe. I I'd
You
be
don't think all
lying if
those
I didn't
rumors about
say-
Way You paying for all of this bullshit just to have us go just to go and fuck some shit up for their benefit as opposed to our national interest? You don't think there's any truth to that, do you? Is that what he's getting at, you think?
I think there's a moment of like deep thought on Pike's face, like a distressing amount of like, I'm trying really hard. I've got a third gear I can spin here.
Hold on, let me get into third gear. I got this. I just need to get the RPM just a little bit more.
If Pike says very slowly, I think given that you are our pilot and we're sort of basically your dedicated problem children, I think I have permission to give you a briefing on something, but it's got to be just you and me, not the crew chief.
Fortunately for all of us, the crew chief is somewhere else right now. That's why I had you clean up that oil spill. By the way, did you figure out where that oil's coming from? I can't find it.
Yeah, this panel here. I mean, I don't know what's behind it, but it's coming from this panel.
It's the goddamn secondary APU.
Is that bad?
It's a pain in the ass, and she grabs a belt of tools and starts removing the panel.
Well, maybe we take a step up the ramp, and I'll give you the brief.
Sure. The ramp closes not so suspiciously, and we cut to Wescott and Winston before we continue that conversation. Do a screen swipe or maybe a commercial break.
Where like the ramp goes up, and like the darkness underneath the ramp is the black screen of the transition.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Winston and Wescott. Winston, you were told to take Wescott somewhere else, specifically in Troop Bay. Warren is off, I imagine, not really flipping burgers, but maybe mixing up the cornbread or something. I don't know. What's going on with you guys? What's that? Ooh, excuse me. What's that look like? What are you guys up to?
So I mean, in Westcott's mind, she's walking back to her room. So effectively, she would walk back to the troop bay of her own motivation, and just kind of like get there and just look at Winston and just look around, going.
So, Wescott.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, Wescott, you made it onto the ship. That's nice.
Yep.
You okay?
Less drinking in the future.
Okay. All right. Well, I can.
But
make
yeah,
that.
she just like she can feel the fact that like the other chunks of her brain aren't working. She just goes, less drinking.
Indeed.
Hangovers suck.
All right.
She'll probably
what
like.
did-
Pike specifically told you to get Westcott cleaned up, so
Yeah, I
Westcott
think you
would,
can
like,
shower and stuff. And
shower, and she has clean uniform up here, so that's easy enough to handle.
yeah, probably take a short nap if you have time.
Should actually go check on Watts.
Go check on Watts. Okay. Yeah, he can join you on that.
Yeah, because Watts should have like 1 day left in mid bay.
Yeah, unless you guys want to talk about anything along the way, I will say this: when you do get to med bay, Watts is sitting upright, sucking down a juice box or something, some equivalent therein, and is looking like he wants to get the fuck out of there, but they're not letting him yet.
So we get him back. So I just look at the nurse going, "Did I get my Marine back in the morning?"
Yes, unless we go to FTL, then you can get it when we come out. Also, I didn't mean to time jump you, so if you wanted to do something like en route to the medical bay, that's totally up to you guys.
That's good.
Yeah, Westcott is totally just ignoring Pike's comment right now. It went basically.
It went right through her. Clean through and through shot.
She is not a combination of sober and aware enough to care at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the nurse looks at you, Westcott, and says, "Are you okay? You don't look so good. Do you want We can run some checks on you if you need it.
She just shakes her head and goes, a little too much hangover after shore leave.
Are you sure? And when she says that, she is absolutely implying, like, honey, I've seen worse, and you are worse.
Yeah, she doesn't particularly want to be picked apart by the medical staff at all. She
Yeah,
would
yeah,
avoid them
because
if
she is
possible.
absolutely getting ready to refer you over. You don't know that, of course. But she's like, I've got the head shrinker on speed dial.
No, she avoids the medical staff and she mostly is just here to check on Watts and then goes back to take a nap.
Okay.
Which is the appropriate solution for this level of hangover, I think.
Yeah, well, nap or maybe sleep until morning.
And the
Yeah.
possibility of this kind of depression.
Yeah, and it gives us a chance to find out if she's going to be depressed tomorrow or not. Yay!
Well, I'm pretty sure Winston, if anything, makes her drink like another liter of water before going to bed.
As your
water with, yeah. How stressed are you? Are you visibly stressed?
She is currently sitting at, I think, she's sitting at 5 stress.
Will nap relief do anything for this?
Nope.
No.
I cannot reduce stress while I have failed my check each day.
that includes
my daily
nap
check.
relief?
I feel like hard.
It says
drugs would
there
do
is no
something.
way to reduce stress, period.
I mean, that's a black and white answer.
I will double check the language while we.
Yeah.
I have it written down.
Sure. I just want to see if maybe
if you fail, you are having a bad day, your stress level increases by 1, and you cannot relieve stress until the next day.
Cannot.
I just want to look up the nap relief real quick.
Yeah, so unless relieve stress is a phrase that's specific to a particular action, I assume that just means all forms of stress reduction.
Yeah, I think relieving stress is the action that you're trying to do, while
Nap relief reduces stress.
Forces it. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like and I'm okay with whichever the answer is, but I'm thinking like if anything,
Yeah.
nap relief would relieve some of the physical symptoms or what have you, so you could reduce your stress at least a little bit. Maybe I don't.
At least make it so that you're still depressed but not catatonic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know.
She doesn't go catatonic anymore.
So,
Oh.
well, this is up to
It's
your.
worse.
So this is your turn. This ask you for ruling, but here's some specific stuff from the nap relief entry to consider in your ruling.
Uh-huh.
Nap relief does not relieve you of your stress; it removes all stress on a character.
Oh.
So maybe this could be the gateway to her getting a drug addiction, because she needs nap relief just to get by.
I feel like that really works, but I'm also not gonna. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Wescott would have to choose to take the nap relief.
Also, nap relief, you can OD on nap relief.
Whoop. All right, let me keep my evil laughter to myself.
So that
yes,
really goes down to late rodents. How do you feel about any of that proceeding, I guess?
I don't really see she wouldn't see the point of doing it when it's perfectly capable of going and taking a nap.
I think
It's not like we're on
I think
mission.
that's where we're at too. Is I think Wescott wouldn't even necessarily feel the stress because she's not really feeling anything except this crippling depression or what have you.
Apathy. It's actually apathy right now.
Yeah, apathy.
She isn't having the horrific mood swings, inappropriate anger, or undue sadness flavor right now. She's having the apathy flavor.
Yeah, so I don't think she would feel the stress. And if you were even to ask, hey, do you want to take this pill that'll make you feel far less stressed? I think she'd just be like, no, I don't think I need it. And go
I just need a nap and sleep off the hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just an hangover apathy right now.
Yeah,
that's all she thinks.
I do think mechanically it would be interesting if the nap relief was the only thing that could that worked, because it's like it's a hard drug to force a mood state.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a focuser for Marines that are off their game. So, I mean, I feel like it'd be like how the military used to just throw opioids at everything, right?
They weren't the only ones.
Oh yeah, but I think that I think that could be an interesting mechanical angle.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think it would be interesting to play because it has its drawbacks as well.
Yeah, I just think like with what you're saying with her being in a more apathetic state, that she wouldn't really feel the need to take it. you know.
Right. And
That too.
Whereas
I'm
if
just
you
saying
caught
from a
her
mechanical
before she
point
got
of view,
drunk,
it's all
then it would
fair.
be a different animal.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying from a mechanical point
Yeah,
of view,
yeah.
it sounds interesting. Right
Yeah.
now in character, it sounds like she has no interest in it.
Yeah,
She just doesn't
exactly,
fucking
exactly.
care.
Total agreement. Total agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for a future mechanical possibility, I could totally see it, but right now it's not an in-character situation for it.
Yeah, I just want the brooch to
Oh,
like
I'm
bridge.
just thinking like Winston. If you go check on her first thing in the morning and she fails her roll, if the conversation were to rotate to here, you want some nap relief, you'll feel better. That is definitely a moment where you're like, ooh, do I take it and feel better for the day, or do I not take it and feel like complete useless ass?
Oh yeah, that'd be a separate problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
because that's where the
I think
addiction
that's,
begins.
Do I
Yeah.
take this
And
pill
I-
so Pike will get out of my ass?
Yeah.
you don't have to measure the circumference anymore.
Nice callback.
I'm listening.
Amazing. That was amazing. Well played, Luke. Well played. All right. Unless Wescott and or Winston have anything else they want to do, I do want to switch back to Pike and Eckhart for their not sexy time behind closed doors.
Which at least one, maybe both of them are thinking about that they're not doing.
But I want you guys to have a fair opportunity to do some stuff. So please, if you got something, this is a good time to do it.
Nah, like she like legit would get back, go take a nap.
Yeah.
She'd be okay. I don't know if we actually have bunks or if we only have sleeper pods, but I'm envisioning her sitting in
I
her.
imagine you have bunks of some. You gotta have something other than the sleeping pods.
I can see her curled up in the sleeping pod, clutching teddy bear cat.
Now, because
Yeah,
that
like,
is
I
a
can
cool
see that.
image,
It would
considering
be
her
such
state
a-
of mind, there is. I would imagine there's no one really stopping you from going into your sleeping pod right now.
Because
It's
in
not
the
like someone's
picture,
forcing
it
you
looks
to
like
take
they're
the bump.
literally like right there.
I feel like it would be such a like future Marines thing to do, to be
Yeah.
like that sleeping pod when the top is open,
Uh-huh.
that's your bunk.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
You
definitely,
got
I
a
could definitely
pad,
see
here's
that
your
from.
blanket, go sleep in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she just grabs her cat plushie and a blanket and curls up in her sleeping pod.
There you go.
Does
Winston?
Warren
sorry.
and Winston do anything?
No, Winston would probably join up back with the group as soon as he starts figuring out where everyone else is.
Yeah, I imagine Warren is still or finishing up the cornbread, etc. And then Pike is. Well, nobody knows where Pike is because he didn't really tell anybody where he went.
He did not.
But it's also not like this is a massive, Enterprise J size starship. You could find him if you wanted to. For
You
those
could
that
probably-
have, by the way, for those that have never watched the Enterprise Star Trek Enterprise, the Enterprise J is from like the 29th century and it's fucking massive.
Yeah, I feel like Mother, just as like a basic thing, would be
Yeah.
able to just be like, Mother, where is so and so? And you'd be
Yeah.
like, they're in this compartment.
Computer, locate.
Yeah, I mean,
All
our,
right, let me stop with the Star Trek bullshit here.
our dog tags aren't metal. They're
They're
They're-
RFIDs.
I mean, they're not just RFIDs. They're actually quite fancy.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, Winston, it's the floor is yours until you yield it.
All right, so I get down and breakdance. But
Amazing, but nobody sees it.
yeah, so like totally the best ever. Like the
Oh yeah,
window,
nobody.
or
You tell
rather-
anybody you want about it, and nobody will ever believe you, no matter how
Yeah,
well
exactly.
you sell it.
He's probably gonna go check on Warren, because Warren was actually the last person he remembers sort of being anywheres other than Pike and the other two.
And who's
So he's gonna check on
Warren belong to?
Warren belonged to me.
Okay,
He's the one cooking, I guess.
Yeah. He was doing something like get dinner ready or something like that. I believe was his last set. So he went into the kitchen area and is slapping together in the little plastic, not Tupperware because we don't have their sponsorship yet. Tupperware, I will sponsor you. Jeez, I gotta stop being such a sellout. It was good as a joke earlier, but now
I'm
it's
trying
getting...
so hard to sell out. Just take me.
Yeah, he's got the little plastic tubs of like corn powder mix. He's got them on the little, I'm gonna call it a microwave conveyor belt. It just conveys it
Okay.
through a microwave and it comes out the other side
That
looking
just sounds
something like
so
cornbread.
dangerous. That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
so
it is.
dangerous.
It absolutely is. It's the space future of the 80s. So, you're lucky you don't have jetpacks. No, you're really lucky you don't have jetpacks.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something
Yeah.
about the jetpacks that they were envisioning back in the 80s.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So we've got the tub of Wen.
Yeah.
And we've got the macrowave. All right. So we got the space 80s. Okay, good. So he's gonna go up into the kitchen and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And Warren's gonna like look up and be like, "Oh, I'm just cooking food."
Yeah.
Um
Go ahead.
so yeah, no. I
I
don't
can
have
play
much,
Warren
but-
if you want me to. It's gonna be comical because I'm in that kind of a mood. So if you need to stop
Yep.
me, please tell me to stop.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Warren's gonna be like, listen, all I know how to do is make this fucking cornbread, and that's because they put words on the side of the box. I don't
Yep.
know what Pike said. Make something to eat. I'm making something to eat, but I feel like there should be more to this dinner than cornbread.
I think you shot yourself in the foot when you tried to cook that fish.
Yeah, I mean, but that was easy. Like it's quick flash fry one side, quick flash fry the other side. It's done. It's fish. By the way, out of character, I have no idea how to cook fish like that. So don't listen to what I just said. You might end up with worms or some shit.
Oh yeah, 100% worms. It's like the McDonald's brand of worms. 100% worms.
McWorm.
Trademark.
McWorms.
Man, oh my god, I must have had a good day at work or got a good nap in because holy fuck, I'm firing all the synapses right now. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
literally, they're all
enjoying this.
fired.
They're all
Jesus.
fired. So they're gonna shoot the shit for a little bit and wait for everyone else to start jumping into the kitchen hall, I guess.
Yeah, I imagine Warren was like, wait, before all that happens, of course, he's like, wait, there's a big pot right there. There's like 8 gallons of water and like 50 pounds of pasta. I'm sure we can figure this out. So you end up with some like not quite spaghetti because there's not nearly enough spaghetti sauce, but there is plenty of pasta and a handful of pieces of cornbread.
All right, I have an idea.
Go for it.
Start piling the cornbread into like good piles, and then sticking spaghetti through it to make it look like face huggers, and then cooking it together.
I think Warren is like octopus, right? And he starts making this shit happen. He's got like bundles of spaghetti, so not just a single piece or whatever, but like a bundle going through one side of the cornbread to the other, and he's got like 3 of them. So there's like 6 little legs on this cornbread. Okay, well, maybe not octopus. What's sextopus?
Squid.
Oh
So
god,
do
that
you
sounds
guys-
bad. That sounds really bad. We got to think of a better name.
Do you know what happens when you do that?
Sextopus.
Oh, I'm sure the cornbread would dissolve.
Yeah, there's a reason why you do that with hot dogs, not cornbread.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't know that though. He's an idiot. Well, not really. But no. Warren is the
Hey,
one that
I'm
has to
pretty
prove
sure
himself.
Winston would save us from the horror that is cornbread soup.
So. About to happen.
Well, you cook the spaghetti at this point, but
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. It's stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good spot to move, but I'll defer to you, Luke. Are we good there?
Yeah.
As you guys are trying desperately to salvage anything from dinner that doesn't involve much more cooking because people are starting to show up and they look hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Pike, you wanted to brief Eckhart on some stuff. And Eckhart is looking at you and she's tapping the rim of her cup, holding it out towards you as you're getting ready to speak, and the ramp seals up behind you. You were saying?
Have you heard about the artificial womb program?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Drone something or other, angry soldier boys sent off something dark side of the moon.
Dark Side of the Moon?
You've never heard of Pink Floyd? It's
No.
classic. It's classic. I mean, it's like 200 years old, so that's why it's classic. But whatever. Are you gonna top me off here? Because this got getting dry.
Where's there some more? Well, some of that's right. I am an artificial womb.
Okay. Cool. You look human, so you're not an android. I know you're not
I-
an android, and I'm not going to explain on the air why you're not an android.
I'm no fucking toaster.
The word of Blake has entered the chat.
Yeah. The others have run into other AWs at this point on other assignments.
Right. Well,
So-
we've seen some of them, I think. Doesn't General Vaughn have like a handful of them for her little bodyguard thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought those guys were a little bit weird. I mean, how do you find so many people at 6'6"?
Well,
I forget how tall
I-
Pike is, but I imagine he's about 6'6".
yeah, he's about 6'6". I mean, we weren't born to grow that tall. That's what all the genes and juices were for.
Sure. Listen, the only science I know is aerodynamics, so if there's anything more complicated than that, you'll have to break it down for me.
I just know that I've got specific metabolic needs in order to maintain this, but and my brain chemistry is designed to be different.
I have noticed that the elevator doesn't hit all the floors, but it does go to the top floor. And she smirks and holds the cup out again.
As he's pouring, he thinks he was just complimented.
Yes, that was definitely one of those.
Yeah. I volunteered when they were breaking apart the AW units to serve with natural born Marines.
Is that what you call us? Natural born Marines.
I mean, you were born and grew a natural life cycle. I didn't. I don't know.
I suppose that would make sense. Please continue.
I mean, it's way less specific to just say normal people, right?
Sure.
Because we're all Marines. We're not fucking normal.
You have a point. Again, see? This is what I was talking about. The elevator does go all the way to the top floor. It just doesn't stop at all the floors.
So I got the assignment I requested because I was marked as being unusually personable and friendly for an AW.
An abnormal, non-normal. It's not like abnormal squared, right? I'm sorry. You were
Yes.
saying something.
Right.
I love how she just stumped him by
So
math.
I've grown up in and around assignments that don't exist for one reason or another. And I bring it up because the funding for the AW program and the scientists that did it were WayU. The
Okay.
Corps asked WayU to make Marines.
Yes, and of course the Wayyus did what they do best, which was throw money at it.
I mean, they got some results. And she just sort of like shrugs his gigantic shoulders.
I think she rolls her eyes because she's not sure if she read that you were trying to make some sort of sexual innuendo-based comment in that.
But it does mean that I grew up doing things for Weyland-Yutani under Marine orders. So you talked about rumors of sometimes Marines being ordered to do things on behalf of WayU. I've done it when I
So
was
the
younger.
rumors aren't just rumors. There's actually a shred of truth to them.
Yes.
So maybe this guy had something behind what he was trying to tell you. A warning?
He knew too much to not be in the know. He's not just some spy. He knew way too much, way too quickly.
How do you even think? Why do you even think he's a spy?
Well, I mean, whether he's our spook or their spook, he certainly gave off the air of a spook.
Yeah, but you know, there's more than just spooks in the government.
Sure.
Maybe
just
I'm
not used
just
to any
playing
of-
devil's advocate. He's probably just a spook.
Sure. I can't think of the occasion for anybody else to be here specifically and want to be on that pad to talk to me specifically. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
your GM can think of several reasons, of which one of them is definitely true, but he's not going to tell you
Oh yeah, but this is Pike. Pike is working within his limitations.
that. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to be a smart ass. I think she just looks at you. She's like, but. All right, so let's look at what we know. This guy knows too much. Although, apparently for the right reason, he knows too much. He comes to talk to you, of all people, about the things you have done.
Right.
And he says, what? Watch which side you're playing for?
I mean, his whole analogy that I think he thought was going to go over my head was there's two people that play chess, and I'm not one of the players. I'm one of the pieces. And I get that. I've always known that. I grew up knowing that. I've just never questioned it. And he's asking me to. I've never felt the need to question my leaders in the Corps. At least as far as I know, I haven't had occasion to need to. But if he's asking me to question my leadership, then he's making some serious, like, either he's trying to incite treason or he's suggesting that we're participating in some treason. Which
I think
whether
she
he's
actually
full of shit or
stops and
not-
sits down on like a chest of something, like a big box of something, and sets the cup down, and she like rubs her face. She's like, holy shit.
No, whether he's full of shit or not, it's a big deal that conversation happened.
I would say so, because he's not. I think she's just stunned for a moment, and it takes her a little bit longer than even what Pike would expect. Because I imagine to some degree Pike looks up to her as an intellectual role model, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
He thinks it's hot that she's so smart. She's
Yeah,
an officer.
exactly.
She's got the whole degree. She
For
understands
the moment,
aeronautics.
and for the moment, you see this person that is on a pedestal for all intents and purposes, intellectually speaking, and she's stumped. She doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know how to process this information. And after a moment, she's like, "He told you you're a piece on this board. What if he's telling you not to follow orders blindly?"
I mean,
There is something, I'm sure you've heard this before, blind loyalty can get you killed just as much as false motivation and dumb ideas.
yeah, for sure.
Is that the message he's getting at, maybe?
Maybe. I've enjoyed speculating as to why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, where I'm doing them. Sometimes I come up with ideas that I know are just so uninformed bullshit. It's just a fun exercise. And other times I feel like maybe I've got a grip on why I'm doing something, but I don't think I've ever thought about what I was doing and thought that I was doing something wrong. And it's not because I don't think about it.
She looks at you, she's like, "Are you sure you're thinking about it, though?" And then she smacks you on the back. "I'm fucking with you, Pike. Here, fill me up and let's go get something to eat."
Consider. Yeah, I've been doing that too. But it's just something I think maybe right now is not the time. Maybe there's some time to digest what all I've told you. But I think at some point we should go through, you and I, through all of the post-mission reports. Because either there's something in there we need to know, or maybe we can put enough information to report a security breach. In either case, I think we need to figure it out. I'm a Marine. I serve the UA. I need to know that I'm still serving the UA.
I think she stands up, and as before you got ready to say all about, sitting down with her and all the mission reports and all that, she had just clapped you on the back and she had said, "Here, fill me up. Let's do one last drink and then we need to go get something to eat." And she stops when you say that, and she gives you this pensive look. And she's like, "You know what? That's really not a bad idea. I don't think it should be just you and me. I think it should be your whole team. I almost said soldiers. Your Marines saw some of the same shit you did, but everybody experiences things differently. Maybe their insight will help us figure out what this clown wanted to tell you. And we could figure out whether or not he's on the good guys or the bad guys. If he's one side or the other of the chessboard, as you say," he said.
I mean, I understand that part of it's
Listen,
childhood.
when we're in space, we are not necessarily monitored. We can have this conversation before we even ship out to our next stop. Once we get in this bad boy, and she points around to the not Cheyenne.
But my only concern with that is I know that doubt is contagious.
But you have doubts already. You think your Marines aren't going to find that out already? You don't think they're already feeling it?
I don't want to encourage it.
The best way to squash it is to call it out and squash it.
All right.
I have no idea if that made any sense, but I feel like that's definitely something a lieutenant would say.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Especially for a leadership mentor. Like, you're right. Like, out of character, like, when you have that sort of doubt in yourself, you need to handle it. And sometimes talking to your guys helps. And you're always going to be worried about your guys picking up some of those same doubts. But maybe sometimes it's also better just to grab that motherfucker by the throat and smash it until it stops doing whatever it's doing. And maybe doing it with or without your guys. You know what I mean? I think that's where she was going with that. Because I kind of on the cuff that last line.
Let's do a sanity check. And if we think there might be something to uncover, I'll bring the others in. If I'm dumb and you sanity check me out,
No. Hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. You're not the brightest star in the sky. But we can still do a sanity check.
Well, somebody that I trust to look over the stuff to make sure that I'm not going to poison these guys with something I don't need to.
Of course. All right, listen. I've had a few drinks. You've had a couple, I think. We need to eat, or this is going to get very weird very fast. Because I don't know if I can keep a straight face anymore. Let's go.
Yeah.
She's got her hand over the button that drops the ramp, but she's waiting to see whether or not you want to keep talking, or if you're like, okay, no, this actually makes sense. Let's go eat. Because she doesn't want to, like, ruin or spoil the confidence, I guess. You know what I mean?
He stands up and just looks her dead in the eye and says, I hate that I do, but it's the right call. For now.
I may have space because I'm making smart-ass comments every 4 seconds. What is it that he hate that he does?
Because she said that, like, we've both been drinking, and this is, like, it could turn,
Oh, yeah.
This could progress, so we need to leave before it goes any further.
Yeah.
So that was his comment.
He's like, I hate that you're right.
Yeah, he was like, I hate this idea, but you're probably right for now.
Dinner. Is Wescott joining you guys?
Wescott probably is.
Or is she still napping? Let's imagine at least a half hour or 45 minutes has expired or transpired since.
She would have set an alarm probably because she, would like dinner.
Yeah. All right.
She can't, like, at a certain point, your stomach does complain.
Oh, yeah, loudly, I know. Okay.
So yeah, she would have set like a 45-minute like timer, so she doesn't nap like all day.
Winston, you started with spaghetti, bread, a meager amount of sauce. You've had 45 minutes. Please, chef, show us what you have made. I've watched too many cooking shows back in the day.
What is Warren going to be held responsible for is the question.
Well,
feel free to add anything else into that mix that you want.
Spaghetti and cornbread balls are pretty much the only thing that I can really think of here.
Okay. Listen, I'm down for whatever. I wanted to make the cooking show joke and then see what you can come up with.
I feel like the must add protein is mandatory to all meals, and a vegetable of some kind nonsense.
Corn is in the bread. There's your veggie.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
This is military thinking.
Are we doing
in the sauce, the meager amount of sauce says
school
it
lunch
has
thinking too?
The sauce says that it has trace amounts of meat in it.
Yeah, meat and not meat product.
Yeah, I love how like the little individual pizzas in plastic counted as a serving of vegetables when I was in school.
Tomato paste.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tomato's not a vegetable.
No, but it does go in the fruits and veggies category.
Yep.
Pike will walk into this cornbread ball sauce spaghetti monstrosity. What the fuck is this?
Bon
I think Eckhart's
appetit.
right behind him, and she's also like, just shaking her head. Goddamn Marie Chow. It's just grabs a plate and waits for, because Pike is ahead of her, so she's just waiting for Pike at this point.
So he says that and he looks really stern, and then she makes that comment and he breaks and he just starts laughing and he goes for a plate too.
I guess the chefs are on shore leave.
All right, I will say as the GM, the show is yours for now. At some point, well, just a couple things. One, traditionally we've had some sort of sparring bout. Whether or not Wescott is up for that, I don't know. The tradition may break here. I don't know. But there are, about the time you guys sit down and start eating, there are indications that the ship has already broken orbit and that you will be hitting FTL sometime in the next couple of hours. No specific timeline yet. Or anything else for that matter. Just that you will be.
So, Westcott comes in not like right at the beginning, but still fairly early into the designated dinner hour, and shuffles through, probably with bedhead a little bit, and acquires food. She just looks at it and goes,
Well, it's food.
Serving? Next. Cornbread balls? Next. A tiny little cup of pasta sauce?
Listen, I want to be clear. You're getting a normal help or serving of noodles with a shot glass worth of spaghetti sauce, if you're lucky. So it's not nearly enough for the amount of pasta on your plate.
Do they have those weird plastic cheese shakers?
Why not?
Oh yeah.
Fuck it, it's the Marine Corps. Of course they have the cheap shit.
It doesn't taste like cheese, but you can certainly.
It doesn't even have a taste. It has the consistency of styrofoam somehow.
Yeah, so she just looks at it, takes the lid off, dumps some on it, puts it that, adds a little bit extra water to it, and just stirs the sauce into the water she's concoction.
So Winston.
Yes.
Since this operation has changed a bit. We're ostensibly gunfighters, but it's just us. We are a team. I think it's time we get to know each other a little bit better, since we are who we have. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that colony you're from? Tell the group.
Wow. Hey, Luke, I'm going to hit you with this bus. That's what just happened.
I've actually given that some thought. I've actually given this some thought, by the way.
Okay, go for it, man.
So being of almost like so I'm not too super familiar with the UAP and United Americas too much, but like Mediterranean is part of the United Americas, right?
Not 100% sure, but we could also argue the Caribbean.
So the United Americas are like North and South America in their entirety. Yeah. There is a European faction as well.
Yeah, the Three World Empire? Is that the right one?
Yeah.
It's mostly Britain and I want to say Europe and some stuff. Some of Europe.
The major players are Britain, Germany, Japan.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And they collectively basically own Europe.
Yeah. Other than a few bits that are falling into the UPP. I think part of South America is actually UPP, but I might be getting various things confused and also making shit up because I don't know what I'm talking about.
There's not a lot of warfare on Earth anymore. They fight all their warfares in proxy, classic 80s style, like out in the colonies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically vaguely American, kind of darker skin. I grew up in a colony. I don't really know the name of the place or anything like that, whatever. Because I don't know anything about colonies in this game. But just kind of a lonely child. I grew pretty accustomed with medical science and such. At an early age, decided to do my part and joined the Marine Corps as a med tech.
Call the service, huh?
Call to service. I decided that I wanted to do something good with myself.
Had
Kind of
your
a bookworm in my older days.
your family support it?
Not at first, but I mean, they accustomed to pretty much anything after a little bit of time.
Well, that's good to hear.
What about you? I guess you were always a military baby, were you?
I grew up in the Corps.
Yeah, I know some people like that, but probably not at the same level as you.
I mean, the first memories I have are people in uniform. I mean, learning to read. So a gunnery sergeant taught me to read. I mean, it's
Were there written instructions also for that?
written instructions on how to learn to read.
Yeah, like on our minds.
I I'm used to having instructions written on everything. Yeah, I suppose there's probably instructions on how to administer reading comprehension to children. He's real proud of himself when he like struggles up the word comprehension.
Should have made you roll a wits roll for that one. The way even you stuttered through it, I was like, God damn.
Hey, I was enjoying doing that in character. He's
Oh,
dumb
yeah.
and he's trying
Absolutely,
to sound cool.
absolutely. Go for it. Yeah. I'll shut up.
This is going well.
I gotta say though, since fair play, asking about family, I don't I don't know what's up with any of my instructors anymore.
No?
Not exactly a keep in contact type thing.
I suppose it's one of those things where you don't know where anyone gets to after they transfer out.
But I think for a little bit, some of us Pikes tried to stay in contact with each other, but I mean, when we stopped, most of us were dead.
Hmm.
I mean, they start sending us on missions when we're 11 or 12, depending on how big we are.
I guess I
For
never.
Pike, he was 8.
Pike was a big boy.
Yeah, I guess I never really considered the longevity of people before I turned into a young adult.
I mean, things are different now than they used to be, but when the program was, from what I understand, when the program was full swing, the Corps was desperate for Marines to throw in, and they figured, we're showing up with 5 or 6 years training already. Expect by the time we can be around other Marines, we'll have 6 or 7 years of combat experience.
Show them up.
So, I mean, we were supposed to be the next step in humanity before the program was canceled. They kept trying to tell us that we weren't human, we were human plus, and we should consider ourselves as much. But I don't see. Maybe it was a thing with the way that the regiment was set up for the Pikes, but most of us Pikes didn't think that we were superhuman or better than natural grown people. We're just different. We're just
Hmm.
built different.
How it's like to drive an F-150.
God.
I mean, when they started taking apart the units because there were so few of us left, I volunteered to serve with, normal born.
Say it. Say it with you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about that, but yeah.
I was trying to, but I had to really kind of watch what I said. You
Yeah,
people?
if they were giving us options to either just be put into really small teams to be sent in until we grinded out, or I volunteered to work with normal born Marines.
And that's when you pretty much met us.
I mean, I'd worked with normal born Marines before you guys.
Oh,
Ooh, did we get to find out about his tragic mission before this mission?
I mean, if they ask, you
Yeah,
probably press them for information.
Winston is not going to ask.
Pretend I'm not here, because the GM doesn't have a screen presence.
Yeah. No, you're not the
No.
you're not the first normal born that I've worked with.
Okay. I suppose it went less than optimal the last couple times.
Um, out of the last few groups that I've worked with, well, I think when you guys joined, the other Marines in the platoon, are the survivors.
Oh yeah. The player is saying that.
Oh, you know what? No, he would say that the other Marines that you met when you joined this platoon were the first survivors. He'd say the first survivors, yeah.
The first.
Wow.
The first of many, I hope.
Yeah, Wescott will just give Pike a look and go back to eating.
Like I've got to give you guys credit. You survived some pretty hairy shit. I don't think
Warren pipes up. Warren pipes up. Yeah, I threw a friggin' knife across the entirety of an area just to get to saving your ass.
Eckhart looks over. She's like, really? Really? I'm not the only one saving your ass now? Jesus Christ, Pike. It just goes back to, eating. I think she even goes back and looks at her food and she's like, I can't believe I'm eating this shit. And just keeps eating.
It's good shit. What are you talking about?
Oh, you made this?
Yeah.
She has that look of like, fuck, I didn't mean to say that out loud, and now I just got called out on it. She's like, good.
And Winston helped. And Winston helped.
Good fish. He made good fish. I don't know what the fuck happened between the fish and this, but
stick with fish, boy. I don't think she would actually say boy. I think she would. I think she'd just look at it and be like, stick with fish, Lance. Stick with fish.
I guess Wescott would ask Warren where he's from to continue said conversation train.
Yes, Warren is the mafia guy, isn't he?
No,
no, it's Watts. Sorry,
but Watts is
the mafia
Warren...
dude is not currently present unless the med bay let him
out.
No,
the medical crew are being stingy.
Yeah,
I think it's funny.
So Warren is from a Nebraska kind of place, I suppose. I'm imagining more or less the like Nebraska of like open range kind of areas.
He's a Midwestern boy.
Yeah,
and he's got like, and he says something ridiculous, like he's got like 8 brothers and like 6 sisters, and they're like all basically just like clones of him. The sisters are all muscly too, and the men are all like weird. But anyway, so
Pike is just nodding like this makes perfect sense to me. I was part of a litter of 40.
Litter of 40. When you say litter, Eckhart looks at you. You're spelling platoon wrong again.
So he continues with Matthew Warren, I guess a religious family. We grew up on a colony, a lot of brothers and sisters, and I learned from a young age that the military was the way out of that place. And after a couple tours, I guess I did really well for myself. He kind of looks proud of himself for a second.
Did you also have to fight your siblings for status?
All the time.
See, we get each other.
They got so strong.
Yeah.
I feel like when Pike says fight and when Warren says absolutely, they are not talking about exactly the same kind of fighting.
No, like a friendly arm wrestle.
Oh yeah. Arm wrestling,
biscuit.
throwing dirty socks at each other. Meanwhile, we got the clan Simcoe over here.
His Pike is having a flashback to like, I remember when I earned squad leader by beating another Pike to an inch of his life. It was totally normal.
And being congratulated for it.
Yeah, I got top marks for aggression.
I got an A+ in aggression.
Yeah. He continues with the story. He's like, one time I got one of my siblings so afraid of using stairs because I hid behind the stairs one time. And when they were walking down the stairs, I grabbed a hold of their foot and they fell down the flight. And then I ran away and they thought there was like a ghost at first. And we kept kind of feeding it into them. And man, they run downstairs now. They never like look.
Jesus Christ, what kind of childhood did you have, Lou?
Mike loves this. No, Pike loves this. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Eckhart is also looking at you going like, what the fuck? Because clearly
Yeah,
she did
he's-
not come from a massive family of siblings just beating and abusing and bullying each other. And she's
Yeah.
just like, I've got nothing. And she just sits her food down and just sits back and just stares in awe at the rest of you.
Just
The
observes.
instructors told me that it built character.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. What about you,
I-
Wescott?
I'm from one of the older stations that orbit Earth. One of the rundown ones. I grew up with in one of the never-ending post-colony failure orphanages.
Mm,
Yeah.
I've heard of
Jeez.
those.
That's not really pretty. Got out early, basically.
I'm going to use a term that's in the books. I might be getting it slightly wrong. It's either 40 or 20, but the 40 parsec line was no joke. It was also not terribly long ago either in the lore.
Yeah. So me and all the other kids in there all had a whole lot of dead family from whatever event it was, and ended up getting. It was easier to run around as feral children without the orphanage than it was to try to live there. So he ended up growing up with an entire group of several of us, and I ended up joining the Marines after that. They totally gave me cat plushie, man.
Oh.
The one she literally carries around everywhere. Like in her bag.
I think Eckhart looks at Wescott when you mention it, he's like, now I get it. And that's all she says.
Yeah.
Kind of in
Warren
that,
is
like,
like, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. When you're only able to rely on yourself, you can't leave anybody behind, even the little kids.
yep. And she claps Pike on the back. And this is obviously not exactly. What's the word I want to use here? This is probably a little too familiar between an officer and an NCO. And she's like, that's exactly how I feel about this guy right here. And then she realizes that maybe she stepped over a line, and now she's trying to find a way to politely back out.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Eckhart, I had to keep him from being nuked.
Lieutenant.
That is Lieutenant Eckhart.
Lieutenant Eckhart. I had to keep him, Staff Sergeant Pike, from being nuked off of the face of one of those planets.
I'm trying to remember what she was doing in that particular moment. I think she probably was flying around
She
in the
was
dropship
flying
trying
sorties against enemy ship.
Yeah, the enemy dropship, or the enemy destroyer or whatever that was in orbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Mother caught the other two.
Yep. I remember that.
That's fair.
That was
That's a fair statement.
furry hairball right there, if ever I had seen one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they told me I'm resistant to radiation, but I doubt that much.
No.
We all just kind of look at him.
Eckhart just looks at you, like, even if it's true, she's just like, no, you're not.
Yeah. That was one of those things where you hear that you could do something and you kind of want to know if it's true. That's one of them where I was like, I'm good. I really don't need to know. I'd rather just not chance cancer.
Cancer's no joke.
This is the 80s. We don't know about that yet.
No, cancer was...
It's space 80s. Yes, we do.
yeah,
And two, radiation poisoning is horrifying.
In fact, in the 80s, radiation poisoning is worse by millions of miles than cancer. Radiation poisoning in that era, that'll kill you quick and change what you look like.
Yeah. Wasn't that the era of Chernobyl? Or am I completely mistaken?
No, the Chernobyl was in the 80s. I forget exactly when.
It was. I think if I remember right, towards the late 80s, and the sheer financial cost of Chernobyl is one of the things that kind of kicked the USSR over.
86.
Mm-hmm.
And then RoboCop and the ending sequences when the guy gets it's toxic waste, not necessarily radioactive, but yeah, he gets fucked up. I digress. Please continue.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about you could keep someone alive for a bit. The problem is they effectively just bleed
Cook.
out.
They cook from the inside. If we're talking
They,
about
they,
radiation
they bleed
poisoning.
out effectively because their body and they overheat, dehydrate, and bleed out collectively at the same time because they just lose cohesion, and you
But
can't.
all I need
Medicate them.
all I needed to know was when the widget beeped in training, we were supposed to take the injectors to keep us going, and if they beeped faster, we were supposed to leave.
The widget? Is that what you called it?
Oh,
That is
that's
what he
I
fine.
think Edgard actually says that. She's like, "You mean the Geiger counter?"
That
Who
doesn't
is it?
sound familiar. It started with a D.
I'm gonna go with Geiger counter, and you just don't remember shit. And she says
Fair
that
enough.
quietly. She
I'm
doesn't.
sure if I'm going to go somewhere high red, I'll be subjected to some sort of refresher training.
Gotta stop being quite so damn snarky. Please continue.
Oh, do we ask Eckhart where she's from?
If you want to, I have no answer, so I'm gonna be cuffing this one again.
Oh, good.
Oh, here comes.
Hey,
think-
Lieutenant Eckhart, where are you from?
I'm from. I'm also from the Midwest, a little bit north of Warren, a place called Michigan. Yeah, I did not have 15 siblings. I had 3. They were all assholes and younger than me. Mom and Dad made me do a lot of work on the orchard, and I said no, and found my way into the academy, and here we are, zipping through space. Yippee-yay.
Yeah, I mean, now you get to do way more interesting things.
It's definitely better than apples. Although, I could kill for a fresh one. And she looks like she's about to say, especially after, and then she just stops.
But do apples taste different if they come from different places?
I think she just looks at you like she wants to smack you upside the back of your head and be like, of course they do. But she knows that's far, far too familiar. And she's just like, yes. Yes, Staff Sergeant, they do.
I've never had one before.
There are many different kinds of apples, in fact. Cue Bubba and the Shrimp.
So is our next random snack acquiring mission going to be buying apples now?
Good luck finding them out here. You're a long way from Apple Home.
I mean, most of the colonies aren't known for their agricultural excellence.
No, they are not. They are almost entirely industrial.
That
Now,
sounds like a really
Now, in the
bad
show that
oversight.
airs tomorrow night, that might be a different story. But you're also a long way from there, too.
Yeah, about 35,000 years or so.
Well, I was referring to, because probably a little bit more than I need to reveal now, but there is something of an agri-world within the Van Breeze domain.
I figured.
But yeah, I don't know, just never had the opportunity.
Well, you can do an awful lot with an apple. You can throw it at somebody. You can eat it. You can slice it. You can dice it. You can jam it. You can preserve it. You can put it into a peach, or excuse me, you can put it into a pie, bread, butter. There's a lot that you can do with apple. Oh, apple sauce, which is actually more like a gravy than a sauce, but that's immaterial. Juice.
Well, then you can make it alcohol, right? You can make
Fermented.
anything into alcohol.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of apple wine?
He just guys like, wow, this sounds like a very versatile vegetable.
It's a fruit. And when she says that, there is definitely heat on the word fruit.
Okay, fruit. Very versatile fruit.
Like potato.
Not a fruit.
Also not a vegetable.
Yeah, it's a tuber.
What's fucking with her?
Wait. If it's not,
It's a
if a
tuber.
potato is
Technically, I think technically it is a vegetable, but it's more a tuber, I think is the word.
Yep. And me and Laros actually went into a whole thing about this where we discovered that nothing actually exists as a vegetable except for cabbage and its derivatives, which are all man-made.
Lovely.
And
Thanks, science, for
almost
fucking that up.
it almost sounds made up, but it's funny how most things are not vegetables that we just take for granted as vegetables.
Pike
Actually,
is
that's not
trying to
surprising.
process. Pike is still trying to process that potatoes are neither a fruit or a vegetable. He's like, well, then what other option is there?
It's a rock. I think Shagard says that in the most sarcastic tone possible. It's a rock. You've been eating rocks.
He just laughs, you know? He's like, I got that. That's a joke. And it's funny.
She just shakes her head. Because she's like, I really had to put the sarcastic spin on that before he caught it. This guy literally can't take him anywhere. And that's when she grabs her plate and she gets up to leave.
She almost had to do a Z snap when she said that.
Yeah. The floor is yours, or we can move ahead. We do have the option of our once per mission cooldown phase beatdown.
I think we might have.
It's an option. You don't have to do it, and Wescott may not be there for it. Or, coincidentally, or conversely, rather, Pike could be like, let's go, we do this every time, and just be totally oblivious to the fact that she's not in her right mind.
Wait, does Wescott make overtures to this beatdown?
I love how you're calling it a beatdown.
I mean, she still kind of wants to spar because that's like her ritual. Like, it's the pattern she has made, so she wants to stay in pattern.
So if Wescott doesn't fight Pike, I think Warren wants to.
Ooh.
Oh, I think Wescott is going to fight Pike though.
Okay. But does Warren work up to saying something before Wescott musters the energy to do so?
Roll off. I'm kidding. Don't listen to me.
Pike is totally down to fight both of you, but like
once even.
Well,
that wouldn't be the appropriate test of skill.
So Warren goes, so you used to fight your brothers and sisters, the Pike dynasty.
The Pike brood.
Yeah.
I mean, they used the word crop, but we didn't like that word.
I don't imagine they would. But coming from crop myself, this would be kind of a fun experience to know exactly how strong you are, being 6'7" or whatever you are.
As he looks up at his chin.
He's like, you want to fight?
Yeah.
All right.
There is like a hustle all around. Like, so this whole conversation, it's just been you guys all at your own table. There's a couple of other tables, maybe a couple other wandering Marines coming in, grabbing food, heading out, whatever. And at the end of this, you hear, like, two of them hear that there's talk about this fight. And all of a sudden, it's like Marines just pop out of the goddamn woodwork. And they start moving shit out of the way. They start throwing down those, I'm going to say athletic pads. I have no idea what the gym, the shit they put on the floor.
It's a gym mats.
Yeah, the gym mats. Thank you. Clearly, I'm not much into physical activity. But anyway, so they start throwing these pads down. There's rumors and murmurings of a betting pool. But you can't catch
Watts is pissed that he's missing this.
Oh, yeah. Watts gets word from a nurse, and he's like, motherfucker. And his blood pressure just spoofs right up the damn chart. And they're like, you do that again, you're not leaving until after that team's mission is done. You calm down right now, sir.
I feel like somehow he's involved in the betting pool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely he is. He's
probably running the betting pool of the nurses in the medical bay, at least.
Yeah, the whole med bay is all looking to him and be like, so, if Pike tussles with Wescott, who do we bet on? And he's like, bet on Wescott.
It's just like makes up this whole thing. God, you haven't even read her record. She's been doing karate since she was 4. She's amazing. She kicks his ass every time. Throw it all on Wescott.
She has put a lot of points in close combat and picked up appropriate feats since then.
Yeah, and it's going to it's all like picking up all those fighting things have already saved her life.
Yeah,
it's going to continue.
Every time you have a failure, or anything else for that matter that goes poorly for you, it's all going to be because you're depressed. Just so you know.
So yeah, Pike. He walks over to the pads. He takes his top off and throws it on a table. And he's like, "All right, are you ready?"
Yeah, so rips off his top
There
as
are
quickly
now
as he can.
easily 7 or 8 people standing about. They're not really saying much. They're just watching. You might catch a whisper as somebody leans over to the other one and be like,
Wescott makes a new pot of coffee.
Just
Because she doesn't
I-
trust either of those two.
It's like the Pike says the only rule on the Tam is you have to be able to report to duty tomorrow.
Got
And he just sort of like he waves Warren to step in and start.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see it because I moved my hand out of the view of the camera.
So, how tall is Warren? I don't remember his
I
physical
feel like
description.
he's short.
So he was slightly taller than Winston, who was short.
Okay.
So he would have been like 5'11", like
That's
stocky
still
and
taller than average male.
Yeah.
yeah.
A little bit.
But like for a Marine, I mean, Watts is taller than he is. Pike is taller than he is. He's like middle ground, basically.
Okay.
All right, let's pull up this thing. So, are we pushing on initiative?
Do you guys
Pike's
want to
letting you go
do?
first.
Do you guys want to do a full combat sort of deal here? Obviously, nothing is fatal unless it's critical or anything like that.
Pike's letting you go first, and we just alternate.
All right. Let's
On
see
that
here.
note, give me just one quick second here. Let me close my stuff so people don't see all my notes. I'll put it on Foundry so people can see the rolls. Go for it. Make your attacks.
Well, he's going to Wata.
That is a 3 success wata.
Yeah. So he's not going to push it. He's just actually going to go with that.
All right, describe your action as...
Keaton's rolling and question mark land again.
And
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Let me set that back to public. I forgot I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, was that on private or something?
Yeah, I had it set
Yeah, it
to private to the DM.
Ah.
So yeah, I guess go ahead, describe what you're doing. And
All right. So he's gonna go for like the good 1-2 and then try to swipe into the leg with his like foot.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get you prone with one of the successes.
So you're leading with a couple of 1-2 good punches, and you're doing the old Johnny sweep the leg thing. Pike,
Yeah, he's gonna.
what are you doing
Yeah.
in retaliation? Because at my count, from what I see, you beat him 4-3.
4.
so like as the combo's coming in, like Pike is slapping them down, and then when he goes to sweep the leg, he just flexes his gigantic leg and just sort of like roots himself with his genetically enhanced super quads.
That ham bone. All right, Pike. It is now your turn to inflict damage, unless you guys just want to keep going with the standard contested rolls, which are not exactly
it's-
alien standard, I think.
I mean, it's back and forth. Pike will swing back.
There's 2. You gonna push? He's pushing. 3. All right. What are you
All right.
doing there, Pike?
Pike is going to try to just haymaker you in the face.
All right.
All right. So I get to contest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You can spend your next movement action on rolling close combat to try to reduce or block.
Okay. All right.
Not
So
quite
that
enough.
reduced it
Oh,
by
wait.
2 so far.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
What was your total? Oh, you had a total of 3. Okay. And then you just rolled 2, Luke. So go ahead if you're gonna push.
Yeah, a haymaker's gonna suck.
You defeat the haymaker outright. How do you do it?
Kind of rush in and push. You can't see me because I'm on no webcam here.
That's okay. I have the camera on Foundry, so I wouldn't have been able to see Zoom right now anyway.
Okay, so by rushing in under the haymaker, so I can get under like where his rib cage is and stuff like that, and we're gonna see where that's gonna go in a second because I feel like I'm gonna end up on my ass.
Oh, this is gonna be amazing. So go ahead. You're gonna make a roll, I think.
I think so,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
All
So
right.
it's time for you to roll to secure the deal. See what you do under those ribs.
Yeah. See if you get that clinch
All
and
right.
body slam him. suplex him or something.
Yeah.
That's 3 successes. Would you like to push for more?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him off the ground. So that's kind of the idea. Nope.
No.
3
Total of 3 successes. Pike, he has dipped under your haymaker and got a good solid grip, probably about roughly between your hips and your rib cage. What are you doing?
Well, let's see what his
Pick him up
options
and
are.
just drop him on his face? Jesus
Oh,
fucking
wow.
Christ. 6 fucking successes. To add insult to injury, but no
Okay.
further successes. 6 successes, you are able to do whatever you want with him at this point.
All right, so he's going to, like, you're going in for the ribs. You're on the side. He's gonna.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Okay, keep
Keep
going.
going.
What did you
No,
do?
he's just on one
Okay.
side of you. So he's trying to do like a judo toss at this point.
I think he's gonna see that you're going to the side and try to like grab you with the arm on that side, like around like the neck or the top of the shoulder, and pull you into his knee from the opposite side.
Ooh.
And the bleed over is 3 damage.
Bleed over is 3 damage. He takes it like a champ.
Yeah, well, you have
But
no
he's
armor.
not looking
so-
good. Yeah. He takes it like a champ. He's still got 1 health.
All right, I have lost track at this point as to whose turn it is. I believe it's Pike's.
It's my turn, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Pike, you've just dragged this dude into your knee. What are you going to do to follow through with this? As he appears to
like,
be
I hit
quite
with the
shocked.
knee. I hit with the knee, keep a hand on, pull back, and I try to bring the knee back in.
Ooh, a double knee strike. With only 2. Would you like to push? Ooh, panic roll.
But 7 successes?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I accidentally rolled that twice.
Yeah, the first one is you dropped an item.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
not really wearing anything.
Yeah, but
You're
I'm
dropping
gonna.
me.
You know what? Because to me, it's really funny.
Yeah, I drop.
You
hit
drop-
the second
you drop
he hits
Warren.
him and I drop him.
You
Yeah.
drop him.
Okay.
Like somehow this, when you push off to drive him in with your knee the second time, he somehow squirrels out. But it's not so much that he squirrels out as it is that you lose your grip on him.
Nice,
It is
nice.
now back to Warren to lead it.
Do
off.
I have his back?
No, at this point, you guys are now. You're
No,
still
so-
in.
Side to side.
You're still.
So the dropped item.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I still hit him with the knee, so he still
Oh.
needs to. If you want to roll the block against the 7 successes, or you're just going to eat 7 damage.
Yep, my bad. I did misunderstand that. That is my bad. So yeah, you do have to attempt to block or get your face caved in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna have a critical injury if I don't block this. So yeah.
Instead of taking 7, you're down to
3.
4
Or push.
and a panic.
All right. So 4 successes
5.
and your stress roll.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Anticlimactic. Okay.
Yeah, I think
so,
you are effectively
1,
out
2,
of the fight though.
3, 4, 5,
So-
6, 7.
So the 7
1, 2,
minus
3,
4 goes down to
4.
3. So that's 3
Yeah.
more.
Take second wind.
Ooh, are you staying in the fight?
But he's got to roll stamina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings
So-
you back up to like what, 1 health or
So he
something?
hits him. So he hits him with the second knee, but he loses his grip on him, and it just sends him like flying to the other side of the mat, where he lands and makes a second win roll,
Okay.
which
Okay.
would be pretty badass.
It would be. He just gets up. He said, "I didn't hear no bell." That is 3
You don't have-
successes, but a panic roll.
Does not have to roll the panic roll
Okay.
on the check. You're back at 3 hit points.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he stands. I'm just gonna listen. It's your character. You can do this if you want to. I think he takes all that punishment. He rolls a little bit when he hits the mat after being flung, basically, and he just slowly gets up, does one of those like Bruce Lee knee crack or not knee, but neck crack things, and he's like, "Let's go, round 2."
All right. He's
It's your
gonna
call.
roll,
You do
I
that,
guess.
of course.
Yeah. He's gonna do that, pretty much that. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's gonna roll, and we're gonna see what happens. Yeah.
That is a 4 successes right there. 3 more if
Seven.
this stress roll doesn't fuck you.
Nice.
That's 8
All right.
successes. What are you doing to Pike right now as he attempts to do some sort of
5,
defense?
6.
Oh, Pike is going to take some point loss here, but what are you
Yeah,
doing?
Yeah,
You have 2 successes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Superman punch you.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Darting across the mat from like 10 feet away, you just come in with a Superman punch, and it just rocks Pike right on the jaw. It's like picture perfect, too, I imagine.
Yeah, just
There's
a big old shot.
that wet sound of bone on bone.
Yep.
And then Pike just starts laughing like a madman.
Pike enjoys this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a panic roll again.
Roll high, roll high, roll high. Overkill.
Oh, shit.
Overkill.
I choose to trigger overkill.
Okay.
Oh god.
For those that
You
don't
can
remember overkill,
You can still roll
exactly.
the block.
Huh?
You can still roll the block. I can't. I've got the 2 successes.
Yeah.
He's trying to headbutt you.
That's 2.
All right, he goes
Can
for the
Wescott
headbutt.
intervene?
Does
She would try
Wescott
to.
notice?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
She would try to command Pike into being no longer panicked.
Ooh.
I mean, he's not. I mean, okay, sure.
They've had this discussion about what he is, how he flies into rages, and if he hits a certain point, he just goes until he kills people.
yeah. And
Him
I think,
going into overkill is something he's done before, and then killed people in front of all of them.
and
And I
rather
think she would
gruesomely
perk up
with his
enough
hands.
because he is doing it directly against one of her people.
And well, not just one of your people, but it's also one of your,
Marines.
your goddamn, I can't think of the right word. Your goal or whatever to bring everybody back alive.
Yes.
So I think that's definitely pertinent in this case. And so yeah, I think you do recognize that Pike has just slipped into what some Space Marines would call a red haze or a black haze. I forget which one it is because now I'm getting myself confused. Anyway, he's in a murderous rage, and Wescott is like, no.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's straight command to attempt to end someone else's
That
panic
sounds
condition.
right. I'll GM that.
Yeah, that's
I
how it
know there
works.
is a way to do it, but I just
You just
okay.
roll. It's just a command roll.
With a man, you got so much stress right now too.
Let's see if the stress stops the roll.
This is gonna be amazing. She recognizes it and then just like, no. Oh, you dropped something.
Oh, I mean,
You dropped your plushie.
Oh, that's a dramatic moment.
Yeah, it is. And when you
she
stand
drops
up,
her plushie and steps forward
yeah,
and snags Pike and gets him to like take a moment to see what's going on again.
yeah.
I mean, do you say anything to him, or are you just reaching out to grab him in the middle of a fight?
That sounds dangerous.
She just is like, Staff Sergeant. No. She goes, Sergeant Pike, like really like firmly, but kind of lowly, so she's not yelling, but she is very it is very distinctive. She doesn't use like her normal tone of voice. She uses mom voice.
Before he answers mom voice, do you intentionally call him the wrong rank?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Because he has always stopped and corrected her every time.
Yep.
So she's trying to get him to
Yeah, you're trying to
stop
get the
for a
reasoning
minute
part
and
of his
correct
brain to
her
kick back in.
rather than keep trying to kick him to death.
Yep, I got you. Pike,
Because
your
he can't
response?
stop himself out of overkill.
I don't think you have a way to resist this either, Pike. Or am I wrong?
Well, so yeah, no, I don't think so. We're like, she is my second in command, so she like has like a valid position to try to roll command on him.
Yeah. Well, I meant like mechanically too. I don't think there's a way to.
Because I think
No,
overkill is treated
mechanically-
kind of like a panic condition.
Mechanically, I can like if Warren tried to roll that command, he has no authority over Pike.
Yeah. I see where you're going with this.
Work.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's why I don't have any points in command. They'd just be terribly dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we all die, and you're in charge.
And then you get to be in command. All right. I think that officially ends the fight. And there's a couple of people that are just standing there going, "What the fuck just happened?"
So Pike holds a
wait.
finger up,
Do we have more of a fight here?
and he takes a deep breath. It says, "Staff Sergeant."
Yes, Staff Sergeant Pike.
And he looks over at Warren and says, "We can keep fighting if you want. It might get dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
I leave it to you."
That's probably for the best. We'll let this rest.
Okay. And he just he reaches out to give Warren a handshake.
And with a big smile, as gregarious as he is, he shakes the hand.
And he does once he gets your hand, he does the pull in on the handshake and gives you the back slap hug.
It's the Predator
Oh,
man
nice.
shake without as much bicep. It's not as much bicep.
Well, he doesn't want
Not as much
to do
bicep.
that and break his hand.
Well, yeah, well that too, yeah.
And he
Okay.
just slaps him in the back and says, "That was good. You punched me in the face, and that was awesome."
I'm surprised it went that far, but also it could have gone really bad. How much health do you have?
Total or remaining?
You know what? Never mind. I don't want the answer to that.
You probably don't want this.
I roughly know how much because I remember calculations of his stats and feats, but
Yeah, no. Pike sees it, had a great time, and he's like, "Hey, that was an excellent fight. You want to do this again? You let me know."
Is anybody else going to be tussling, or shall we move on here?
I think Wescott would still do it.
Has Wescott noticed that she's dropped her plushie? I know normally I'm not supposed to ask that question, but I feel like in this moment, maybe this is when she would
probably would have
notice
set
it.
it down to whereby she was standing, because this isn't like a combat thing. She knows she set it down because it's not in her hand right now.
Yes.
Or on her
and
person.
I think actually, you know what? I think you set it down on the plate or on the table or whatever, but when you look back for it, it's not exactly where you left it, and it takes you a moment to find it.
I mean,
to be clear, you're gonna get it back right away, but it takes you a moment to find it because it fell off the table in your rush to stand up and stalk Pike. Maybe somebody bumped into it or something. It's on the floor under the table. It just takes you a second or two to find it. You do have that moment of, oh fuck, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. She would still offer to spar with Pike.
Knowing what you know, you still want to step in?
There are people rooting for you, Wescott. They don't know your mental state, but they are rooting for you, especially after you just pulled him back from the brink.
He says that, and then he looks over, picks up a cup and spits blood into it and puts it on the table. He's like, "If you're game, I'm game. You know enough to know what choice you're making."
I have a much better understanding than even what Warren would have, and I wouldn't have let Warren walk into it, but she and Pike have a point to prove with each other.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Ding, ding, motherfuckers.
Oh, wow.
So she would carefully set her top off to the side. She'd pick her plushie and set it on top of her top.
Yep.
When she goes down in second wind, she's planning on stepping back. She was planning on going for a second round.
Well, let's hope you don't trigger overkill by then.
So Pike is going to want to try to swing first for this, so we do probably need to pull cards to see who's first.
Okay. Let me get that open. Give me just a quick second here. And then I need
It's letting Warren swing first was because it's the first time Warren has fought him.
Yeah, and well, I think especially with the history.
The last time we fought, since we fought, I've stabbed Pike twice.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the second time I drew blood.
Close that one. Okay.
That's true.
Combat.
So she is not expecting to get the grace of the newcomer can punch first.
Does someone add them to combat? Yep. All right.
It's been a while, eh?
Also, for some reason, you guys are both are dead. I don't know why. Hold on. You have health.
Those aren't dead. I think they're panic. Those are the panic symbols.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because we technically both have active panic conditions now.
All right. Let's see. That's the one.
Just roll all.
Roll all. Yep. There you go. Pike, you're up
first.
Oh. Ow.
I think I think there's a moment where you guys kind of square off in that typical, like, this isn't obviously a boxing ring or anything. This is just a mat on the floor, but it's about the size of a boxing ring, and you guys do that little slowly wavering back and forth in a circle around each other sort of deal. Pike, it is your first go. What do you lead off with?
He's going to try to plant a boot in her stomach and shove her off the pads.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
Sparta kick.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
There's a panic
Oof.
roll in there with all them successes. 6 of them by my count.
So, Pike overkills. My minimum roll puts me in overkill.
Jesus Christ.
I can't roll lower than an 11. So
Yep.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice. Would you like to roll a black mat?
Yeah.
Wait, I missed. What did you just ask her?
I asked if she wanted to roll the block. Oh, that's a really good block roll.
4. That's 2 damage?
She'll take the 2.
Okay, yeah. I think he's gonna. I want to spend 1 to do 1 damage, and the other 1 to to knock you out, to knock you back. So it kicks you into one of the tables.
Yeah.
Nice. I think you end up, like, not doubled over, but doubled over backwards. So, like, it's your back that hits the table surface. And there's Pike just effectively just raging at this point. What would you like to do after you calculate how many hit points you have left?
I have 3.
Okay.
He only did 1 damage.
Oh,
So-
gotcha, gotcha. It is your go.
Yeah.
I forgot to hit. Then that one. It is your go, Wescott.
She's gonna try to punch him back.
Oh.
That's not. Yeah, I figured that was about gonna be the rate it went.
Let's see if you roll high enough to trigger your own overkill.
That'd be hilarious. You freeze.
Is that
Uh,
overkill?
No, it's an 8.
I think you need a 10 to get overkill. Am I right?
Yeah, you need a 10.
So
Okay.
you freeze, unfortunately, unless you got something that reduces that or changes that outcome.
No.
So your stress.
You hit the table, and you.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Everybody's
Your
stress goes up, including yours.
Oh wow.
And I think because Pike is in overkill, he's just like in his brain. He smells weakness, and he wants to pounce. That's his stress.
Yeah, I think he's the shark in the
yeah.
water, and he
So
smells blood.
she basically stands up and readies herself, but freezes for a moment after looking over the situation.
No, I know.
And then
You
it's
see
Pike's
that
turn.
look in his eyes. You see that look. You know that look. You just pulled him back from the brink a second ago. Well, a minute ago or whatever. And you see, oh, fuck. And before you can rationalize it away, maybe because of your depressive state, you're stuck in that mode of, oh, fuck, and you're frozen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Pike's
Pike,
gonna go all in.
It is your go. Do you get any bonuses because she's frozen?
No, but I am going to use, instead of saving my move action to block, I'm going to aim my punch for 2 more dice.
Her head becomes separated
Because
from her
she-
Well,
shoulders.
she can still block because block is the quick action, if I remember correctly. So
You.
Losing your next slow.
I lost my slow,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is my attack action. I did not lose my movement action.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't attack next turn, but you can still try to block this.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. 5 successes.
That's a little bit more reasonable. Jesus Christ, that 1 success with all that dice?
The dice
Holy
are so swingy.
I know.
You know, the dice game.
Me.
Time for another stress roll.
Yeah.
This might be able to push you high enough.
6.
So we're gonna intervene in a second.
Would you like to overkill?
You have
Would you like to show Pike that you can overkill?
Yes, because okay, the last time we had a serious discussion, he was screaming at her to be angry.
Yeah.
She is getting angry.
Oh, no, she's not angry. She's fucking Hulk smashing right now.
So that's 3 damage, which I think puts you at rolling for.
I believe that is her
Second
second
wind.
win.
Yep.
And now you're overkilling, so you can't choose to stop.
Yeah. So
let's
All
get
right.
this. Let's say that with this. So you're back at 2 hit points.
I'm not bothering to roll that
Can I
because
Well, you don't roll-
Can I
He's an
consider my
overkill.
movements?
There's a part of me that really wants to see at least one of them hit the other while they're both at overkill before allowing the medic to do anything.
Yep.
Do you want
But
to
I will
do
let the
one
group
going
figure
to-
this one out before I
Do we want to
interject.
do one more initiative where he's like, "Oh shit," and he sees the need to step in?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's-
to throw him into the mix? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, so
Well,
the
say-
medic
Is this Winston that's doing it, or is it Warren?
The Winston is going to do something, but he's going to actually plan with Warren his move because he knows that it's going to suck.
Okay. So I'm going to put both of them in as well.
And then at the end of the next initiative, we roll to add them in, so they have like.
I can
that
add them
6
now and then go to the next round and then roll their
Okay.
initiative. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. So like, because she just overkilled, so they just started saying that there's a problem.
Right, yeah.
We take we each get another round, and then we roll them into the initiative to see when they can try to stop us. Does that sound? Says we still get the overkill Hulks punching each other. and
Yeah.
it gives them it allows them to step in and try to stop this.
Yeah,
from
so
going too far.
I'll add them in round 2, but it'll be round 3 before they get rolled, as far as their initiative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And hopefully nobody's dead. Because this is going to get interesting. All right, Pike, you're up.
Okay. He's going for it.
And you are definitely shark in the water smelling blood. You don't have to worry about stress, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Or not stress, but panic.
Correct. You can still roll you can still roll a defend on overkill.
She takes all of it off. Well, she mitigates
No,
2 of the
still-
damage.
She still takes another.
I take 1 damage.
Yeah, that's what I meant was... Yeah. All right.
Actually, she can push that.
That's
She's
true.
going to push it.
Also ignores
She also doesn't roll
stress, and you
stress.
also defeat outright his attack. So what was your
So-
attack?
So you went over, right? You blocked
I
more
have
than
5
you needed to.
successes.
So those 2 successes you can spend on Pike.
That's damage, right?
So like it's like
Or,
Pike kicked you on into the table, and you and he came over
She
and
kicks.
he's trying to punch you in the face.
She kicks him back onto the mat, and then I guess she just does 1 point of damage with the other one.
Okay.
so you knock him prone, I guess. is
No,
the
I
word?
kick him
Well,
back.
knock me back out onto the mats
Okay, gotcha.
and did a point of damage.
Wescott, it is your turn. You have stumbled him, and you've knocked him back. You could charge into him and do whatever the hell you want.
Do I have both of my actions?
I believe you do. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong.
You do not, because you act after Pike, so you had to spend your move for this round to block. So you still have your slow action, but you don't have your fast action.
Okay.
It's just an order of spending in the initiative tracker.
Yeah. Mm,
I also want to point out while you're trying to figure out what you want to do, the crowd has grown substantially from like 7
she
or 8
moves
to
forward.
like 15.
I think I can convert my slow action into a move. Correct.
Yes.
I move forward.
Now,
are
does
back
that
on the
take away
mats.
your ability to attack?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. She could move or attack, and she pushed me away. So
She has to move
she
forward.
moved. So she shoves me back into the ring and joins me.
Yeah,
Which
basically.
this has got to be like amazing for the spectators, right?
Yeah. All right.
So it's roll for Winston and Warren.
Yep. 9 and 10. Winston and Westcott.
Wait, doesn't Warren have roll twice on initiative?
He does.
Ooh.
So
Give
let's
me
roll a
1d10 for Warren there. See if that changes his number.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Three. All right. So we gotta figure out how to break this tie, and I don't remember what the rules say. So,
Agility.
yeah, Pike and Warren, what are your guys' agilities?
I think we have the same agility, though. I think we're
Mother
both 5
fucker.
agility.
Yeah, so let's roll it.
Is that just
Let's have
a basic
let's-
roll off?
let's just roll d10 for a roll off. It
Yeah.
doesn't change what our position is, but just to see.
4 for Pike. Another one for Warren, please. 10. All right, so Pike will go first. And then I need a roll off for what, or we need to figure out Wescott and Winston. Wescott, what's your agility?
3.
Winston, what's yours?
4, I believe. Yeah, 3.
All right. Give me a D10 each, please. Is Warren with a 7? Nope, I'm reading that wrong. Wescott with a 7. Warren
Yeah.
or
Winston wins.
Winston with a 1. So
Winston wins.
you get the point 1. All right, new order. Pike, you're moving first, and then Warren. But before we start, Winston, Luke, you intimated
Yep.
that you were planning something this round with Warren. So is it something you want to share now, or are you going to reveal as your two characters make their moves?
I think I'm gonna reveal it now.
Okay.
Because it's gonna require a bit of synchronization.
Okay.
Now, as Winston would know, would any drug-induced reduce stress actually make him no longer have overkill, or does he have to go down?
If you like, the nap relay would reduce his stress, but it doesn't cancel panics.
Doesn't cancel panics. Okay.
I think if you wanted to use any sort of medication, I think you'd have to knock him out. I don't know what the game off the top of my head allows for, like, here, let me stab you with this needle so it puts you to sleep right now.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
sure if any of the medication cancels panic conditions either.
Okay, so I know the order of magnitude then.
I will point out that Winston, being a team lead and effectively one of Pike's junior NCOs, you could potentially roll the command to convince Pike to back the fuck down, and arguably the same thing with Wescott, but that would be 2 separate actions. Unless somebody can show me how you can make that one action.
I think it'd be okay for Winston to try to roll command on Pike because he's the medic.
That
And I
yeah,
have
that
some
also
sense of
yeah.
trust.
He has his
I have
own
some sense
type
of trust.
authority.
Yeah, you have the medical authority, you have the sense of trust, but you also have, now that I think about it, you also know about Pike's AW-ness. And Pike knows that, obviously, because he's the one that told you. So you can recognize, here's an AW about to absolutely lose his shit, and Pike knows that you know he's an AW, and obviously as the medic, if you roll successes on the command roll, Pike has to recognize that.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
All right, then I think I have a plan then.
Okay.
So who's going first? I guess Pike.
It would be
Pike
Pike.
is first.
Yeah,
Pike
this
is
is
let
gonna
me
be
get-
bad.
I gotta,
Pike is going to try to, like, with the height difference, he's going to try to kick Wescott in the face.
nice.
Yeah.
Three successes. 17 fucking dice for Jesus Christ. That wasn't aimed either, was it?
That's aimed.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Okay. So, she goes to block.
That's 2.
That is not enough.
She takes 1 how much damage does she take?
She takes 1 point of damage. Wait,
Okay.
have we been doing this? Hold on. Because it would also make this much easier if we just knocked her out. Let me double check something.
Oh, mechanically speaking, yeah. If she's not conscious, that she loses
Then
overkill.
both of us lose overkill.
Oh, that wouldn't it? Because that defeats your cause of overkill,
Right,
right?
because it's base damage plus successes. So it's base damage 1 plus success, that's 2 damage.
Oh,
Which also means Pike is missing another point of health, so they get that off there in case it matters. So that's 2 damage.
So we have been doing the damages wrong a little bit.
She
I-
drops because she already second winded up, and
Oh,
she only came
nice.
up with 2.
So what I'm hearing, ooh, I almost killed my power. What I'm hearing is Wescott takes a boot to the face, drops like a sack of potatoes. That ends her overkill state, and then Pike, because what caused your overkill state was defeated, and there are no other.
No.
Go ahead.
So because I don't have any other perceived threats.
Yes.
This is important because neither of them have tried to do anything to me yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the second half of my statement. Was that there
Yeah.
are no additional threats at this time.
Right. So
That ends your.
Pike kicks her in the face and he thinks he's done fighting, so the overkill ends for him as well.
Okay. It's
Well, that
Warren's
was
turn.
a lucky shot.
It's Warren's turn, and I know out of character that technically ends it, like mechanically, but Warren in character may not recognize it, and he is moving next. So I will say this: I need Warren to make what's it's not awareness. What's the fucking the awareness equivalent? Fuck. Observation roll. Thank you. I need Warren to make an observation roll to recognize that the threat is actually over at the moment. If he doesn't do anything.
All right. Well, he's got a good observation, so that's good.
Well, that'll be helpful unless he fails. He gets a success.
He gets exactly what he needs.
Yep, which is just enough to recognize.
Which is just enough.
So now, Winston,
All right.
it's your turn. And because you're playing both characters, let's just argue that combat is over. Because Warren's going to be like, no, wait, they figured it out. They got it. And you can now stop this fight. And holy shit. All right, so
I'm going to pull Wescott away from that eventually when I have the chance to sneak in and
yeah, I think
worry
we
about her
get
health.
a shot. We get like the cameraman shot of Pike breathing kind of heavy. And we see like kind of like a look of rage. And we see it cool. And he takes a deep breath, and then everything, like the consciousness of what just happened, registers, and that's when Wescott and Warren go to scoop up. Winston and Warren go to scoop up Wescott, and Pike is just left standing there, recognizing that he damn near killed his squad leader.
I think that's like part of his cooldown is he's super fucking jazzed. He's basically drunk on violence right now.
Yeah.
So like he does like a little cooldown lap around the mats where he's just like clapping to himself and just trying to like calm himself down.
He's high-fiving himself.
Yeah.
He's doing the Hulk Hogan around the ring.
Somebody's sleeping, so I can't do it, but he does the whole like, whoa, you know, like...
The crowd around the wrestling mats or the gym mats or whatever is also quite excited. That was, no matter who, even the people that lost money tonight are recognizing that this was one hell of a fight. And then, Pike, as you come around your final victory lap, you'll notice...
Like he's planning to do his slow lap and have it end where they're checking on Wescott.
Yeah. Before you get to checking on Wescott, as you're coming to a standstill, back against one of the walls is Colonel Arnold, who apparently has been standing there for some time. Feet about shoulder width apart, arms folded. His face is absolutely blank. When you hear the words tabula rasa, your character may not know what that means. But this is absolutely every bit of the definition of clean slate on his face. And he just nods at you one time and then leaves.
Okay. Like Pike makes the obvious, like he looks, he sees and recognizes the gesture, but he doesn't call any attention to the colonel.
The rest is up to you guys.
And he's gonna walk over to Winston and be like, "Is she breathing?"
I should not laugh at that. But this is what Pike has said for 3 downtimes in a row.
Yeah,
pretty much, eh?
It happens every time.
Yeah, he puts a hand on. He doesn't touch anyone. He just like looks down and looks at Winston and says, "Is she breathing?"
Is she?
I think the answer is yes, because I don't think she's dead. Am I right?
Well,
Oh,
did
no,
she get a
she
critical
dropped
or
to
something?
0, so...
Oh, that's a good point. Are we rolling a critical because of overkill? Or are we passing on that because we were just beating the hell out of
I
each other?
think we can just GM hand wave it and be like, yeah, she's unconscious, but she's fine. She's gonna wake up sore as fuck and probably depressed.
There's a
Maybe.
statistically higher chance she will be than won't be.
Yeah, because let me see, how many stress dice is that she's got up there?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a flat empathy roll.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only 4 dice of empathy. So
Is she breathing?
Yes.
Anything permanent?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check her out a little bit later. When she wakes up, I'll do a cognitive test. You did hit her in the head a little bit harder than you should have.
He doesn't try to refute that at all. He just says, do we need to take her to medbay, or do you think you got this?
Do I need to take her to medbay? I don't think so.
Given that she was
It's
reduced
just-
to 0, make
Twice.
twice. Make a medical roll, whatever the hell a medical skill is, to make that determination of whether or not maybe getting an X-ray or 2 of her brain dome is not a bad idea. I will leave it to you, the player, to determine how you want to role play that out. But medically speaking, she seems fine, plus or minus the player's desire to role play an X-ray scene.
Yeah.
yeah, the standard medical advice for if you pass out is yes.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Generally.
aware of that. But like
But we
role playing
also-
wise, we can always hand wave it.
We're also aware of the fact that it's Winston.
who has already killed. Let me rephrase that. Has already murdered somebody.
Well, he
I'm
He
sorry.
tried
Even more
and failed to
accurately,
treat.
medical malpracticed somebody.
Yes. Let's just call it what it is.
But yeah, what does Winston say?
Yeah, so I guess she is gonna go to the med bay first for a checkup, and because they have better machines than I do with my prodding
With your prodding fingers.
All
to
right.
just figure out if she has a concussion or not, and that maybe needs a rest.
Do you think there's anything spinal?
Prods a couple times. I don't think so.
Okay, and Pike
Just
will just
passed
like
out.
scoop and pick her up. Let's go to medbay then.
Cool.
While he's like bleeding down his face from the like multiple hits to the face now.
The Superman punch. When Warren is just like dumbfounded. He's like, "What the hell's going on? I thought we were just having a nice fight."
Is Winston going to explain to Warren that you don't mess with overkilling people?
I mean, Warren knows about the AW thing.
And he knows that
I don't think he
That,
understood how real it was going to be until it just happened to Wescott, though.
yeah. I
Does
think
he
that's a
understand
good
why
warning.
Wescott stopped him though?
Yeah, I suppose so.
As
Have you-
you, I'm sorry, go
Just see it deciding just how lucky he is when Pike was like, "I'll keep going if you want to," and he said, "No, this could have been him."
It could have been him, but also deep down he thinks, we don't know how that would have ended. And I guess that's his naivety.
I mean, he did way better than like anybody else has really done. She had to
Yeah,
overkill to hit him back.
Yeah, actually that fight went really well, to be honest. All things considered, I think I could almost punch a xenomorph to death myself.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's where
this is how
skill
we
and
die.
inexperience get you killed.
Yes.
Yeah, Pike will go with Winston, and Pike will carry Wescott to medical.
The doctors, nurses, more accurately, take appropriate, I'm going to say statements. I know that's not the right word, but, ask the appropriate questions as to what happened so they can figure out what best to do. And they
Training
attend
accident.
Okay, if that's what we're going with. And in the process of, we'll say, checking her in, Mother comes across the speakers. All hands stand by for FTL transit in 1 hour. All hands stand by for FTL transit in 1 hour. Please start making preparations for hypersleep transit. Something, official sounding, something.
Load up
Yeah.
on preparation H.
Wow. That got dark.
Oh, Pike's gonna look over at his medic and say, "Are you gonna try to tell me I need to be here?"
No.
Good. We need to go get everyone else ready. I take it she's sleeping in cryo here. As he just sort of looks
Yeah,
over
the
at
nurses
medics.
are like, yeah, she's gonna have to.
All right.
Yeah, so Winston is actually going to recommend the nurse to do a head shrinking thing when she wakes up. Like an evaluation on psyche.
Okay. The nurse makes a note and she says, any particular reason? What leads you down that road?
Well, I had to drag her out of the resort, and she has been acting quite strange lately. Stranger than usual.
Have there been any expressions or ideations of suicide or harming others?
She has she has how do I say that? She has prevented yes, self-destructive behavior, but she has opted to try to stay alone during the entirety of that trip. Um, being stuck with her own thoughts, that's a part of ideation. I'm not sure if it's extended to suicide or not.
Well,
But she didn't have any intention of coming back.
she did not have plans of coming back from the mission?
From our field day.
Oh, she had no intention of coming back from that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So I just wanted
like
to yeah.
looking like classic depression, possibly more suicidal, possibly.
Possible ideation, but possible apathy
Okay.
to her existence.
Well, it sounds like it's a good thing that she's asleep right now because that will make her compliant to get into the sleep pod. And when we come out on the other side, I will leave a note for our mental health specialist to check in on her.
Pike looks
Perfect.
over at Winston and says, "She didn't. You had to make her come back from our leave."
No, it's fine. We made it.
The nurse looks at the two of you and has a moment of, oh shit. She does not step on any sort of rank, or like she doesn't say anything. She keeps any thoughts she might have had to herself as she continues filling out on her 19 space 80s computer information.
Pike is putting that compared to what Winston just told the nurse. It just looks over at her unconscious body and says, "It's a lot of potential to waste on a coward."
I mean, you saw her.
Shots
then-
fired everywhere! Holy shit!
You saw her fight. You were on the receiving end of that. She's a lot different than when you first started working on her.
That's the promise. There
Maybe I
is
just
a
want to
good
make sure that
ring.
she's okay.
Like, just he visibly rolls his eyes and then turns to walk out of the med bay.
So
I kind of
Pike,
shrug it off.
so the medical establishment of the UMC medics are probably a very different opinion than Pike over there. They are about to run into conflict.
Oh, there is about to be a deep dive in this whole suicidal mental state
Yeah.
that also does not jive with what Winston just told Pike. Winston told the medics one thing, and then in the very same breath told Pike something exactly different. So I'm
Yeah.
very
Make me
curious to see how that's
contested.
going to play out next week.
Yes.
Speaking of next week, we need to end it here.
Do
Oh
you think
man,
make a
that was an
backup
amazing
character? Because I
session.
think she's gonna get told she's not allowed to go on mission.
Yeah, she's this fucking close, and I'm trying not to do it. Like I'm looking for
Okay,
way.
look, okay, can
Go
I
ahead.
let's just roll her depression roll real quick, because that'll determine if she's even allowed to even talk her way out of it.
No, we have to wait until the time comes.
Cliffhanger.
Yep, cliffhanger especially, but also because I don't want to do it now and then lose the moment. Right now she's right there on being, what's the word I want to use here? Pulled from mission because of that suicide mention. And I'm trying to find ways to make it from this small to this, just so there's more of a chance for her to go. But I have to, like, in-player actions have in-player consequences. So, or in-character, I mean. So
I want to stress that I tried to use words that maybe Pike would not have understood.
Well,
Oh,
from
no,
one,
like,
so
he-
I'm
he,
clear. A medical professional speaking to another medical professional, and neither of us are such. What were you?
Yeah,
What
so
exactly
just
were you trying to
jargony.
say?
I was trying to. Yeah, go ahead.
So Pike understands when people are trying to talk over him, and he did not understand everything that was being said. But he remembers, like, he asked for clarity, not because he was asking someone to give him his opinion, but because he remembered like what she was like on the pad, and what she was doing while we were on leave and we crashed in her room. Um, like
Yeah, so you
he,
put two and two together, is what you're saying.
yeah, he was just like, give me a confirmation, and you were like techno-babbling. He was like, I don't know, like this is your decision because you're the medic. My
Yeah.
opinion's obvious. Weakness and cowardice are a waste of time. You figure this out, and that's why he rolled his eyes and left it to you.
Yeah, okay, so that's where that went. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Pike is very much like he understands that with Winston, he is your staff sergeant, but you are his medic. So you do in some ways have authority to make decisions.
I'm the team medic.
Right. So
Yeah, not just your medic, and that's kind of what counts. It's
right,
like I have the best interest of the team making it back home, right? So
right. So he recognizes that your recommendations and your dealing with medical about what to do with her is your decision, not his. That was what he was trying to convey with his like eye roll
Oh, okay,
walking
okay.
out. He was like, all right, well, this is yours.
Give me 1 second. I'll update this one.
This is the lowest Pike's health has ever been, I think.
It might have been.
I don't even want to know.
I want to
I
commend
won't
you
tell you
guys. I want to commend you guys again for a wonderful episode. Let's take care of our administrative stuff, and let's talk about experience points. Everybody gets one for the no-brainer question of did you participate? So including our medical resident, or excuse me, when I say medical resident, I'm talking about Watts, of course. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your agenda? Wescott, yes, because she had to step in on
Mhm.
Pike to keep him from pounding the shit out of what's his face, Warren.
When
Anybody else have anything they want to argue for that?
Um,
No
I think-
UPP officers to war crime.
Nope.
no.
I like how you
I'm trying to
phrased it
figure out
though. What'd you say, Luke?
I'm trying to figure out a way to wiggle Warren into having a point for that one for trying to prove that he's like actually good at what he does. As in, like,
Actually, that
feel
I
like
can.
that's 110%. He
Yeah,
stepped
that's
in the ring with Pike to prove it.
Yeah, he led the attack. Now granted, I think maybe out of character, Pike let him have that first swing, but
he did, but he took it.
Yeah,
we had-
yeah, that too.
We had a whole conversation about like sibling fighting, and Warren took the initiative to prove himself
Yeah,
in a way that he recognized might speak Pike's language and stepped in the ring with Pike. And Pike had no idea he would even do that.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, Pike, not Pike. I'm sorry. Warren definitely gets one for personal agenda. He also almost got his ass handed to him on a silver fucking platter.
Oh, and it was epic.
Yeah,
He
it was
made Pike in
great.
the face.
It was
That was pretty
amazing.
awesome.
And he landed a punch. Did you risk your life for your battle buddy? I don't remember who's buddy with whom at this point because you guys changed it. I swear to God, at least once an episode.
So, when Matthew Warren's buddy is Pike, from what he envisions, he wants to prove himself to Pike and put himself in danger by fighting him. But that's the same thing. over
Yeah,
again.
I want to say yes because you're right. In a way, he did risk his life, but it wasn't so
How
much. I
how
feel
about
like this
an
question's
argument?
more about sacrificing for your buddy.
Yeah.
I have an argument to make.
Go for it.
Okay.
Warren stepped in, and he's the one that made the roll on Pike because he was preparing to step in front of the crazy man who beat a robot to death with his bare hands
Oh, in the second
To
fight
stop-
with Wescott,
to stop his buddy from doing something that he might regret.
I will accept that.
Yeah, he rolled twice to just be able to like even get into that fight again.
Did you challenge or stand up to your rival, Eye of the Tiger?
Yes.
All right, what do you got? You absolutely did, because you challenged Pike. You went up there. And even if he challenged you, you still stood up to him and got your ass beat. But
I fought him anyways, even though
Yeah.
I knew he was overkilling.
yeah, that was an amazing fight. So yeah, go ahead and take that one. Anybody else?
I definitely got it.
What?
Winston's. Yeah.
Would you?
Go ahead.
Excuse me. What'd you say, Kane?
I was just saying, Pike definitely got it.
Did Pike get it too?
Yeah,
Pike's
Pike and
rival during the session was Wescott.
Oh yeah, you definitely
Pike
stood
and
up
Wescott
to
are
her.
rivals right
It
now.
was a bit one-sided, but you did. It is standing up to her, even if it is one-sided.
It's like it's for clarity. If Warren had said let's keep going,
Yeah,
Pike would have turned him down because he didn't want to hurt him.
but you were an overkill.
Aw.
Could you have?
No.
After the overkill was canceled, and he said, "Hey Warren,
Okay.
if you want to continue this fight, I will, but know that it could get dangerous."
Yeah.
And
Oh
Warren
yeah,
said,
that's
"Hey,
right. You did. Yeah.
If Warren had said, "Yeah, let's keep going," Pike would have told him, "You've proved enough."
Gotcha.
But he wants to crush Wescott to make it so that she has to come to him.
Yeah.
So he destroyed her. Like we rolled. He didn't go first. He did a bunch of those aim shots. And he went for the boot to the face.
Yeah.
It was absolutely unnecessary and risked doing something really bad to her.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that point. I think at least 3 of the 5 characters made panic rolls, so if it applies, add it. It was Pike, Wescott, and Warren. I believe Winston did not. Am I right?
Winston doesn't panic.
He doesn't. Yeah, that's right. He has no soul anymore.
No.
Watts
Let's
didn't
see.
roll at all.
Warren and Wescott absolutely overcame a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means. I don't know if anybody else did, though.
I mean, I think Pike has us so outclassed when it comes to sparring, we don't count as a dangerous counter for him, is what you just said.
That's a fair point. You have worked your character out of gaining XP for that. Good job.
Well,
you now have to go fight extraterrestrial terrors.
let me make an argument for this one.
Okay.
Politically, he did something exceptionally dangerous.
This is also true.
If he had been still in overkill, or if they had acted against him during the fight, like he managed to get in and out of what was potentially going to be a 3v1 to try to dogpile him to stop him from accidentally killing somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been a hell of a fight.
That would have been a hell. There, I think somebody would have ended up in a not viable for mission status. At least one person. I'll allow it. God, you guys are lucky I'm such a softie.
It'll probably be the last one Pike ever earns for sparring.
Did you make a significant discovery or revelation, Pike? An argument can be made, but let me hear what you have to say.
Everyone discovered everything about everyone else's life.
Yeah.
Is that... Yeah, fuck it. There's a little bit of background character development going on there. Pike, you also... Not necessarily getting a second one here, but you do have an argument to be made for your interview with a gentleman.
I was going to say not just the information there that was just sort of given to him, but also his conversation with the LT.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the after action bit there. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind, Warren? Abso-fucking-lutely. You Superman punched Pike. That's not an easy thing to accomplish. Let's be fucking honest here. Wescott, I think an argument could be made for you for stepping in and telling Pike to calm the fuck down, and he calmed the fuck down. That's an achievement.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other big ones that we could roll on here.
Yeah.
Or not
I think
roll, but
that
rule
covers
on.
it.
And then lastly, everybody gets one more point because everybody got a paycheck, because as of right now, Pike is not docking anybody's pay.
Correct.
Nice.
Feedback and outros. Ro, we'll start with you. Feedback, outro-y related comments for tonight's episode from you, please.
I'm going to have to make a backup character because I'm betting she is not going to pass those checks because she has more of a chance of failing that roll than she has of passing it.
I want her to pass.
I don't think.
But I feel
by
like
number,
I also
mechanically,
want her
she
to.
is more likely to fail.
Yeah, it's getting into
Hey,
those one.
if she fails now, it means she doesn't die.
This is true.
Yeah, it's true.
If she
But it
fails
also
in the
means
middle
she's
of the
not going on
mission, she
mission.
dies.
Yeah, it also means she's probably not going on mission, and I'm trying to find ways to plausibly allow her to go on mission despite failing that role.
I
I
don't
don't
I don't
think it's.
see her of not being kicked out of active duty as like a bad
You
thing per se. I feel like it's a continuation of her story that makes sense.
Yes, and she would end up in a non-combatant position somewhere, getting therapy help, etc. But as a player character, Wescott would
Yeah,
probably
she would stop
retire.
being a player
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Unfortunately, given my real world experience, I think the medic has already taken Wescott out of the game.
Definitely. She's
Based on what
definitely
he
made
said,
notes
she's
that
gone.
yeah,
And
once that
because she's
nurse
been-
entered those
and because
notes
she's
about
been-
go ahead, I'm sorry. Go.
because she's been working this Black Ops stuff, she's going to go see a very specific kind of doctor at a very specific kind of facility where she will disappear for some time because she knows a lot, and with her faculties in question, that's a security danger.
That's a
So-
big risk.
So Wescott's going to probably disappear.
Yep.
For a while.
Which is unfortunate. But I love, like, as a story, it's awesome. It's amazing. As a character that has been here for 22 episodes, it sucks that that's how they go out. But we're not there
honestly
yet.
Like the story of her being poofed much better than I like the story of her going psycho and being eaten by a Zeno.
Hmm.
Or
Mhm.
like get your stress getting so high that you can't like, because like overkill works against threats. So like
She
I've
can't
made the-
make any of her rolls.
right, your stress gets too high, you can't do your job, and that gets to the point where Pike might just set you out to pasture himself on a mission and lie to
Yeah,
everyone
she
else about
actually
it.
already can't make any contact rolls.
Now, if you pass your next wits roll, you can start reducing your stress, am I right?
Yeah, but
Or not
keep in
wits,
mind,
it's the
she
most-
has no
whatever it
way
is.
of cutting her stress like the others do. She's not merciless. So every kill doesn't reduce her stress. She doesn't cut stress in other ways. All of her abilities are about helping the others reduce stress as needed.
Yeah.
She doesn't have an effective way to reduce her own stress. So she tops out on stress over and over again. She actually hits higher points of stress than everyone else almost every mission because she doesn't have a way to reduce her own because she can reduce everyone else's.
Have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I know the meme is never going to die, but it's so ironic that in this moment you can help everyone else except yourself. I'm sorry, Ro. I love you. I'm
She,
sorry.
It's a
her
really-
her character that's why I was hoping she had gotten amnesia
yeah.
because any of the other options effectively broke her as a viable character.
Yeah.
Like if you mechanically cannot reduce stress, you are dead.
Yeah, especially in this
Period.
game. Like, period. There's just
Well,
no way
you
around.
can't make any checks.
Yep.
If you go overkill, the only thing you can do is fight, and she is not a primary fight character.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
she's been
So she
getting better at
effectively
fighting.
was a broken character as soon as she picked up any of the permanent traumas that damaged her stress reduction.
The permanent traumas are really dangerous. That's why the stress management is so important in this game.
Yeah. I really want to
So
see how the
she's more of
story
a cautionary
goes, though,
tale.
because she could still cautionary tale is an understatement in my mind. Like this is almost a how-to book of how to manage stress. Either you do or you die. That's it.
And
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting how even though like getting that permanent mental trauma numbered Wescott's days,
Yeah.
I think it was a really interesting way that we managed to dive into a topic of mission stress, toxic leadership, trying to figure out like the team dynamics around indoctrination, like all these things piled in that made the situation bad for Wescott and was going to get so much worse.
Mhm.
And we managed to
But it makes for a
touch on
better
lot of that
story.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the story so much that I don't want it
It's
to
not-
end, but it has to end because it's the natural course of the story.
But it's not just that it makes a better story, it kind of talks to a lot of real shit that happens
Yes,
in
and
a way
I
that we handled without like making it childish or disrespecting it. Which I think was I think kudos to everybody who's been involved in this Wescott spiral into into madness.
You know what's funny?
Because
You say
it's really interesting.
it absolutely is. It really is. I love it. It's funny you mentioned Wescott's spiral, and we originally were banking on Winston being the spirally.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, his spiral is starting. It's just not nearly as fast as Wescott's. Wescott is going down the drain. Winston is still circling the outer rim of the sink.
I mean,
But see,
Winston had his
Wescott-
kill the younglings moment.
He did.
The only way
But,
he's
like-
coming back from the brink is if he has an unknown pair of twins out there to stop him.
Redeemed by the sun. Amazing. Amazing.
and like the antithesis or whatever is that Winston's character that could have brought him back is Wescott.
And she is just almost, she's like, unofficially at this point, it is definitely a matter of time. She has already been removed from the board. She just doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah.
To go back to that chessboard analogy from the beginning of the episode. We are over time, so I want to move on. So Luke, feedback, outro thoughts, please go.
Oh no, this went really well. I think as far as a fight is concerned, it went really well in both directions, and I think that over some amount of time I may have actually lucked out, but I don't know how much actual health Pike has.
And you've made it clear you don't want to know.
I don't
No,
I mean, I can look and see, but I don't want to know. Like, I want that spoiler, or I don't want that spoiler of, oh fuck, Pike is dead. Oh fuck.
We have already covered
Yeah.
exactly how much health he has
He's
when
got a
he
fuck ton.
did drugs, and the fact that we had to discuss the fact that it increased his strength, not his health.
Correct.
yeah.
We've already had the discussion.
You got anything else, Luke?
No, that was pretty much it.
Kane, you've had a couple of comments, but I'll give you a chance to make your own official feedback, outro-y comments. Please go.
Pike is such a toxic asshole.
Yes, he is. Jesus Christ.
His whole like she went overkill. It's exactly what he said that he expected from her, and brought her back to the med bay and started piecing things together. He still was there, like in front of the nurse and everything, was like so much promise in such a coward.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and he made it perfectly clear, like he has no interest in dealing with her anymore. He's degraded her in front of her Marines. Like, he's doing everything he can to make this as bad for her as possible, so she'll go away and stop being a cancer in his team as far as he's concerned.
Oh my god. I want you. Oh man, that is so horrible, but it's so real.
Yeah.
He is a cancer in his own team, but he doesn't recognize it. And he sees the cancer in Wescott and wants her gone. But short of pulling a bullet in her head himself, this is the only way to do it now.
I mean, he doesn't like this idea of pushing her off on to be someone else's problem. He wants to solve this problem.
When we say solve, we are referring back to the bullet in the head moment there. Just
Yeah, I
to be
mean,
clear.
Pike doesn't believe in like chronic depression or anything like that.
Right.
He thinks that's all excuses. That's how he was raised.
Yeah.
So he's convinced that he can either violence her into, out of whatever excuses she has to force her to rise up out of it to be on his level, or she'll crack, fall apart, and he'll make sure that she isn't anybody else's problem.
Yeah.
Because
that's the
he's
top
that
or
toxic
sink to the
asshole.
bottom. Yeah.
And it's funny he's doing all this right now when he's having his opening moments with the LT, where he's considering that maybe things are a little different than I think they are. If this could be a real interesting turnaround if like this whole stuff with Eckhart makes a big change in Pike and he starts to feel bad about some of the shit he's done.
And suddenly he becomes depressed years from now and realizes, fuck, it was all real.
Oh, I doubt he'd be depressed. I think he'd just be angry. Like, he's just an even angrier person and blame everything. He can't see fault in himself. He just can't.
You
He's
think
not
he
raised
would,
to.
I wonder if he would get to a point where he would realize all of the damage he's caused and then just off himself. I don't know
think
what that path would look like. I wonder if that path exists.
I don't think there's a gradual path for Pike. He does not think that he's a firm believer that every decision he has made has been the right decision with the
Yeah.
information he's had.
Right.
If he got to the point where he saw himself as like a monster and a criminal, I don't think there would be a sliding scale of like, oh my God, what am I? I think he'd just be like, I am the threat. I am what I took an oath to destroy, and just
then
kill himself.
I see that. I can see that definitely. I can see that definitely. But that would be an interesting story arc to play out over time as well. You
If it
guys,
happens that way. There's so much potential for shit to go all over the place with this, and then he might just get eaten by a monster halfway through, and it never happens.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it in my mind, is that all of this possibility, right? Anything can happen.
Speculation.
What's that?
It's all speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation because just like in real life, everything can get snuffed out at a moment's notice for no particular reason. Zig when you should have zagged, you're done. Go up when you should have gone down, you're done. Sleep in or get up early. It doesn't matter. In either case, you still end up dead. You know, it's one of those things where you don't get to see that. But I absolutely, and I want to close on this, I absolutely love not just the team dynamic at this point, but just the character development along the way. There's a part of me that's really fucking sad that here in a couple of episodes, Wescott's going to be gone. Unless something drastic changes, which I don't even think it's possible at this point, but it could. It could. Something really crazy could happen that changes a lot of things. Or
It's
she
like
ends
a
up
last
dying.
second mission.
Or she ends up dying on a mission. You know? Which would still be sad, because now we have this unresolved whatever happened to Wescott, or what could have happened to Wescott. Could she have been redeemed or saved? You know? In along the
They
same
have to
veins,
deal with the trauma of losing their one of their people, and then we'll deal with the move forward.
yeah.
Oh, and Watts sitting there in the med bay watching her being carried in, and then
Oh, yeah.
listening to.
over
Watts
here.
understood
Oh,
probably
shit.
exactly what Winston
Watts
said.
was just listening to that.
I didn't even think about that.
In the back.
Watts is in the next court, like he's not even in a separate room, like it's not much more than a curtain separating him. So he overheard the entire conversation at a time that he might otherwise have been supposed to have been asleep or something, other than the fact that the fight was going on. So
He would
Watts,
have still been awake for sure.
oh yeah, Watts, what is his take on this? This is stuff to explore next week when we come back.
Well, okay, and what happened to her cat plushie? Because that might cause issues.
Ooh, that's a good one. Nobody thought to grab it. Don't worry.
there's gonna
Don't
be
worry. I got an
problems.
answer. Hold on. Let me pull up my notes again. I have an answer.
Oh god.
Nope, that wouldn't work because I already said he wasn't coming back to the ship. I was gonna have Tom Stevenson do it. He would have grabbed your shit, but he did. But he already admitted that he wasn't, like he had been reassigned to the surface or some shit like that.
I mean, maybe somebody else in the.
Yeah,
you know,
it'll have
maybe
to be somebody else in the ship crew or what have you that would have recognized.
I
That was
mean,
important.
Warren didn't go with us to medical. He
Yeah.
got left
Oh
behind
yeah,
in
yeah,
that,
yeah. So
Warren might
Warren
have
probably
picked it
grabbed
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of our tops are sitting there too, so they
Yeah.
don't. They have our names like on them.
Yep.
So somebody would have to collect them anyways.
I'm really excited. I have plans that I'm not going to reveal till the start of next session, but I'm really excited about something I want Pike to do.
Nice. I can't wait to see what it is. All right, we do need to get up out of here because it's already about 10 minutes over, and we started a few minutes later than normal.
No,
Well,
we actually
anyway.
started earlier than normal.
We actually did start earlier than normal, but we are 8 minutes over the 3-hour mark. So that is it for us here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Listen, I absolutely enjoyed tonight. I'm really looking forward to this game more and more every week because the way the characters play out and interact with each other, their environment, and their own traumas, it's amazing, and I love it. And on the trauma note, we do and will continue to dive into all sorts of mental health related topics, including toxicity, suicide, and harming others intentionally, as opposed to, combatively. So, as a warning, probably far too late in the show. We should have done this at the beginning, which I'm going to have to fix starting next week. There will be various things that can cause problems for various people watching the show. And if they cause a problem for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a break, stepping away. Do whatever it is you got to do to protect yourself, because at the end of the day, we all have to go to sleep with whatever sleeps beside us. know if that came out the way I meant it to, but anyway, do what you got to do to get yourself some help and take care of yourselves, which is one of the things I always say at the end of every one of my shows. Do what you got to do to take care of you and yours, and this is definitely one of those things. Mental health, physical health, all the healths. Take care of yourself. That said, are we good for next week? I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. All right. That is it for tonight. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place. Thankfully, not as dark as some of our thoughts. I meant mostly me when I said that, honestly. Just for the record, because that sounded a little bit
Hey, I
snarky.
was thinking you were talking about a 40K game tomorrow.
No, that's a grim dark world right there. But yes, stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place. So make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. As for me and mine, we are out of here. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time.
I'm waving.
We promise he is.